Go. Think we're live, but I'm not totally sure. Okay, yeah, we are.
You live?
Yeah, we're live. What's up, peoples?
What's up?
I'm not even sure who's watching, but
Mhm.
probably nobody.
Probably.
But that's okay.
Mhm.
See if more people come on soon.
Oh,
I was
I
gonna
gotta.
do this for you.
That's okay. I'm hearing myself.
So, yeah, tell us about this BXBullet chick. What is she?
Oh,
We
her.
did videos before, right? Last time we
Mhm.
did one. The first one we did was that she made a video about that guy, Matt, whatever,
Mhm.
saying he was a pedophile. That didn't work out, whatever. Then she went after Hunter, right?
Mhm.
Saying, one, she said Hunter, well, the reason Hunter went even said anything about her was because she
Because he
was
was
calling him a
paid.
pedophile apologist.
Yeah. And then saying that he was paid to do a video by the guy that she's accusing of 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 being like a pedophile and all this stuff,
That
which
was
isn't
funny.
true. That wasn't true.
That wasn't true. The video he made was already in production, and he had already made it, and it was being edited because it was from a live stream. So it had already been live streamed before this guy even contacted him.
But she acts like
And he
they're
showed that. He
colluding.
proved. It's funny how she acts because he proved definitively
Mhm.
that he didn't make a video for this guy for money, right? Like,
Mhm.
but she still says that even to this day. She'll still say it, right? I think she kind of shows it in this video because she goes over her Twitter, um, which we're blocked on her Twitter, so it's a good thing she does. Cause,
But
um,
yeah, because she ends up showing where she gets it wrong. So it's funny that she still isn't aware, doesn't have like the self awareness to see where she's like contradicting her actions, basically.
mm-hmm.
Which is why Hunter calls her BX Backtrack.
BX backtrack. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, Hunter calls her BX backtrack, and she does kind of do that. And I've been noticing this a lot with a lot of the streamers lately. Like, we're watching something where Destiny was going over Demon Mama stuff, Demon Mama and Bosch fighting, and you do notice that is a pattern with Demon Mama, where she mocks
Yeah.
and Bailey's, right? She gives you some, she says something really exaggerated, and then she walks it back. You know, a lot of these people do that, and I've pointed that out about Bosch before for a long time, and but now we see this BXBullet chick kind of does it too, which is kind of funny. But she also makes these. She also does this thing that I found weird that she starts her accusations small and they
Yeah.
build
Yeah.
and they become something that, oh, it might be this, to eventually being that it's definitely that, you know? Like I was saying, when she first, in the first video she made where she's talking about this dude, she starts off with him being an alleged pedophile, then an accused one, and then
Mm-hmm.
suspected, and then it goes on to, then all of a sudden she's talking about calling him a
A
known pedophile,
known
right? Oh yeah, he's a
pedophile.
known pedophile. And it's like, how is he a known? You
Mm-hmm.
just said he was suspected,
Yeah.
and it's like within the same video, so like it grows.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
And then it makes you think like, well, she just has she does it doesn't like for her to call this guy a pedophile, she doesn't realize that she's the one like facilitating the actual pedophilic material,
Mm-hmm.
which she's accusing this guy of. And if
Right.
anybody were to look or like investigate this, which I'm sure has happened by law enforcement, if anybody were to investigate where this actually came from, she would be the one with holding the bag. So
Mm-hmm.
like, but it's different for her. Anything that you end up seeing her talk about, it's all different for her to do these things, but like a real harsh judgment when she sees some other people doing the exact same things. That's kind of funny.
We gotta go in the live stream channel. Forgot. So that you can watch the video along with me. I'll leave this here. Put a low quality. Low quality. But yeah, then she did that. Then she went after, who did she go after that? Destiny.
Destiny.
What was the beef with her and Destiny?
No,
I barely remember it now.
it was a bit of things. It was a few things. First, she was bringing up what she was mad at Hunter with was that, I mean, at first Hunter had stood up for her because like there was some accusations of BXBullet wearing some nurse outfit, and Hunter actually stood up for her. But in that same stream is the stream where her child, I think, when she was a few years younger, like around 3 years old, ran unclothed onto her stream, and she says she shut it down, but she was harassing this guy Rain Plasma for like for a very long time, like going on now 2 years basically. And so somebody had clipped that, sent it to him so he could report that to Twitch for terms of service. But Hunter didn't talk about that really, other than when it was just kind of casually brought up on a stream of his. And what he was giving like some criticism or critiquing was the vaccine debate that she did with Destiny. And she tries to shove it in her everybody's face that she's a scientist. I'm not doubting she's got a degree saying something or other that she's a scientist, but it sounds as if she's worked in like the pharmaceutical industry or something like that, or like manufacturing that type of production. So it just seems like she's exaggerating a lot of things with these credentials that she has. And one part she was saying, which Destiny teased her about, was that she got ivermectin prescribed by a doctor, but it when you look into like where she actually got that from, a friend of hers was prescribed this, and it doesn't even seem like it was from her own doctor that prescribed her ivermectin. So she's just taking other people's medication, and any professional doctor would be probably held legally responsible for saying that's okay to do, because I don't think that that's okay to do. And that's using somebody else's medication. But then aside from that, it was also about the Alec Baldwin situation, where she then goes on to use the fact that she's a professional shooter, so she's an expert on giving opinions and criticism of these things, but doesn't realize that someone like Alec Baldwin isn't a licensed firearm owner. He's just an actor. So how he's been instructed to handle and listen to the firearm instructors on set there is what he does, which is don't touch the gun until it's given to you. And Destiny asked, like, just because she's she's an instructor, a range instructor, it doesn't mean that she now knows how it is on the sets. Like, she's not a, what's the word, what's that job title that the people that
gun safety,
the gun safety
person.
person, I don't know what it is, but like she's not that, she doesn't have that profession. So she's like taught, she's just adding a level of judgment that isn't relevant, probably is the best way to say it. So that's why she started going after Destiny. And then also, I guess, heard the discussion that Destiny had with those other women talking about pedophilia. So I think she gave the same judgment that she gave to Hunter too.
No, but the beef was about, I don't remember what it was about, but they had that Zerka guy come in and tricked Destiny into talking to her.
Oh, because the DMs. Remember, she picked up.
Oh
She
yeah.
shared something.
So yeah,
with
that's
her
another
DM.
thing, that she creates problems and then tries to make it as if she's the victim of the problem.
Yeah, and
But
she starts it. A lot of these things she ends up starting first.
yeah, the beef was that Destiny put out the DMs that they had, all of their DMs from the beginning till now. And she's explaining that. But in the process of explaining that, she says that she was on a live stream and somebody asked her something. So she went into her DMs with Destiny on the live stream, shows it on the live stream, and she's scrolling back through it as if people can't pause and like take screen caps and shit. And says that, oh, that's all I did. That's not the same as dropping all the DMs. But it's like, people think that like if you start something, it should always just be an equal reaction back. But no, but things escalate. That's how it goes. And if she can release the last like day or two of DMs of theirs, then why can't he release all of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't ask him for permission to that, you know. And then she acted like if there's some sort of expectation there. Oh, because we don't release DMs, but you were looking through them live on a stream. What are you talking about?
It really seemed like the way that you like you kind of gave it you called it by saying like I'm assuming Destiny looked through these or any messages where she's like acting as if Destiny's her bestie, and it's
Hmm.
just like, oh yeah, like just how do I end this conversation really quickly and just give a response so she'll leave me alone, and that's
Hmm.
really like, but she reads deeper into it, like the heart emoji. That's a deep thing to this woman to like read into or something
She
like
does
that.
also treat it as if they're close friends or if
Yeah,
there's something going on between them. And
yeah,
he's like, when I read it, she says it that way, but when you read it, it seems like he's trying to like shoo her away. He's like, all
yeah.
right, yeah, sweetheart, okay,
And
heart
but then
emoji, bye,
and
good
then
night,
she's like,
like,
but
see ya.
like he acts so differently, like in a voice conversation than he does in text, and it's like she's just adding all those other
Yeah.
things about how she's perceiving this conversation, and you
Yeah,
go,
but then she had a problem with him, and she also complained about, oh, why didn't you highlight the pedophile, blah blah blah. And it's
mm-hmm,
like, she was mad about that too, like as if he was supposed to care about that.
yeah,
He's like, when have I ever done content like that? That's not my kind of content.
because we're working towards a Netflix documentary, or what's it called,
Yeah.
an a Fox docu series type of thing is what she thinks she has like groundbreaking information. She's kind of nuts. I
Hmm.
don't know. It's nothing once you kind of look into it mostly, and a lot of it seems like she's guilty of these things herself, like just blowing things out of proportion pretty much. And if the only scamming that this guy has done is left her hanging from getting free energy drinks, like I really can't back up the other crazy things that she's also gone on to accuse him of.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and I've brought this up in the other videos when we talk about this. Is that we don't it's not the viewpoint we take from looking at both sides and
Mm-hmm.
analyzing both sides, because we're only getting one side
One
of it.
sided, yeah.
But the truth is, we're getting her side of it. And
Mm-hmm.
from just seeing her side of it, there's not enough there. And you're
No.
like, wait, but what do you mean? Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's not like we're hearing the other side and we're believing the other people. We
Mm-hmm.
haven't even heard the other guy's
No,
side,
no.
because from what I believe is she doesn't want to give him a chance to defend himself
Mm-hmm.
from her accusations, which is odd. You would think she would be for that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I'm for it. I think most people in America would be for people defending themselves from an accusation, right?
Hunter actually was for that too, because he wasn't going to take money to do some video thing of his. He returned the money. Hunter was This guy Rain Plasma wanted Hunter to like to go over some footage of, or like just give his opinion, I guess, on this BXBullet person. And at first Hunter was going to accept it, but he wanted to see this information that BXBullet had. I mean that Rain Plasma had at first. Then Hunter changed his mind and said, "Okay, what if you come on, and I'll push you back on like these accusations that are being made towards you from BX." So he wasn't just going to take this guy's side, which is how BXBullet even makes it seem as if he's already made his opinion and he's against BXBullet.
Mhm.
But like there would be nothing wrong with him doing that, but like that just was
Yeah, that's what I was saying
outrageous.
in the Hunter
So
video. Anytime she was like, "Oh, but you'd have a known pedophile on to discuss, and you'll take his money," and I'm like, "But what's wrong with that?
yeah,
Like, I would take his money to do that. I don't know that your accusations are true.
yeah, yeah.
So if he wanted to pay me, I don't have a big enough platform for him to pay me.
Mm-hmm.
But if he wanted to pay me to come on here and have me like grill him and shit, and hear like what his explanations are to all the evidence she has
Yeah,
against him, then I would
I'd
give
be
him
for
that
that.
platform to
Yeah,
hear. Why not? Why wouldn't I? Why
because
why is she the only one deserving of a platform
yeah.
to accuse people, but the people she accuses aren't deserving of a platform to
Mm-hmm.
defend themselves from
Yeah,
these accusations? Why not? That seems
like a cover up or
yeah, almost
something.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to stop this guy? So when Hunter goes to do it and goes to give this guy a platform to defend himself, she goes, "Oh, you're gonna have a known pedophile," and goes on this campaign against Hunter,
Mm-hmm.
starts his whole beef with him in order to make him stop. Meanwhile, he didn't do it on it because of his own reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't matter, because as you can see, she went on this huge tirade trying to go after Hunter and get him to not make
Yeah.
this video, or try to make it seem like it's a terrible thing
Mm-hmm.
for Hunter to have accepted money from somebody to defend themselves from her accusations.
Yeah. And she was doing it for a while too. Like
Hmm.
even on her Twitter, she was making videos like calling out things to Hunter for him to, come and have a discussion or debate and stuff like that. But towards the Rain Plasma guy, she's been sending people to ban or get him banned and like blocked and like all types of just any platform that this guy is on. There's like a whole mob of people flagging his stuff and all this type of things where he's just silenced basically. So it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
So he can't have a way to defend himself pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wants to forget about it by now, right?
Yeah.
But this also happened now with this new kid, this other kid
Mm-hmm.
comes on, and he kind of makes a fool of her and she doesn't recognize
Realize
it.
it? Yeah.
And this happened twice now because only really recognized what happened on Gothic Stream where she thought you were
Where
Rain
Rain
Plasma.
Plasma.
And she was
Yeah.
said, "Oh, there's my harasser," because Chris is in the chat
Yeah.
asking questions
Mm-hmm.
that kind of break apart her
Both
narrative where
yeah.
she could just answer those questions or ignore them. She didn't have to see it. But the second she saw these questions that were questioning her narrative that this guy is a pedophile and a harasser and
Mm-hmm.
she's, Twitch is, oh, she got a picture of my kid. She doesn't say that it was her who put the kid on the stream, right?
Yeah.
She never mentions that part.
Mm-hmm.
But he took a picture of my kid who's underage and Twitch did nothing about it. So, Chris is asking questions like, oh, well, who had that image of that kid, right? That was because you had her on stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does she do? Right on the stream, they banned Chris, so you're not going to see it if you go back and you're not going to see it on the live chat. But if you go watch that Gothic stream with BXBullet, you'll see there's a part where she goes, oh, there he is. There's my harasser. That's Chris. That's not Rain Plasma that she's saying it is. She says, that's that guy that I can't, and he follows me everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what happened. So
no.
this shows you when she calls him, when she says in her narrative is, he makes all these sock accounts and he's a harasser and he comes with different accounts and we don't know how true that is because as we see anybody who questions her narrative, she thinks it's him.
Yeah.
So now she literally thinks, and for a while on that stream, if you watch it, they get derailed. And for like 5 minutes, they're talking about how the harasser just came to the stream and tried to spread a narrative.
Yeah.
And all the people in the live chat are like, screw you, blah, blah, Chris, blah, blah, go to hell, thinking they're that guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. And now that goes down in history, basically, as them thinking that dude showed up. And meanwhile, he had nothing to do with that. So how often has that happened to the point where maybe this guy isn't even harassing her?
Exactly.
Even though he has good purpose to harass her because she's harassing him. But maybe he's not even harassing back. She just thinks he is,
It makes me think back to the Twitter blog thing that she wrote where she even says, she writes in there that Rain Plasma claims that he hasn't done anything to her at this point. So it really makes me think that like you just said, like he's not doing anything. It's other people commenting certain things that they have like information of or have, read her blog, looked at what that behavior was or something like that, and it's like this woman has nothing here. It makes me think about the comments I left on her YouTube channel as well under a video, and she still goes on thinking that I'm this guy, and I'm like, I am not. I have my own channel, like I have my own stuff out there, and I'm not this guy. I don't even know who this guy is. I've had one conversation in a DM with him asking him a couple questions about this. That's it. I haven't said anything else about it towards him. So like I'm not a best friend of this person or anything, but that's what she would think immediately probably.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, where she thinks everybody who pops up and questions her narrative has to be him or somebody that knows him. But we don't even know him, like we really only know the story from her side. So the parts that we have questions where Chris is in the chat asking questions to the narrative she's spreading and lying by omission because she omits parts of the story when she says it on these little interview things and makes it seem like this guy's a stalker and did all these things, for, unwarranted. But the truth is she called the police on him. and, and started a police investigation on him, that went nowhere because probably he's innocent is our point, and she just started a whole thing and a harassment campaign against this guy,
We're supposed to have so much sympathy and be so like riled up about what's happening with BXBullet, but then when it's exposed that this guy himself has admitted like live on the internet that he's from all this, because this has been like going on a 2-year thing basically, which I would call harassment from BXBullet's side as well, just dealing with all of this stuff from all ends of people trying to take him down. He's felt suicidal from this, and he said he feels suicidal, and just like just, it doesn't feel like in a good place. And she mocks that about him. Then she explains that she goes into DMs with him and asks him, like, hey, are you really feeling like suicidal like this way? Because it would be really awful if like something happened, and then like she doesn't want that judgment looked down upon her. Because God forbid, if it were ever found out if this guy took his life because of harassment that he's getting from her mob of people taking her advice to come after this guy, she would hate that criticism, basically. Like, obviously she would hate that criticism, but it's like he says, yes, I'm feeling this way, and then she calls the cops on him again.
Yeah.
Like, why does it, and that's like, why does he hate me? I have no idea why he hates me.
Yeah, why is
like,
he harassing me? Why is he stalking me? And it's like, oh, could it be you called the police on him twice, and that you've been on a campaign to shut down his discords and every Twitter and Twitch he has the account and shit? Could that be why? I don't know.
Like, you you make a police report on him because of an eggplant emoji and conversations happening with other minors that are, well, like, everyone is aware in this server that he used to have, there were underage people in the server talking to each other. No conversations were between him and these minors, and like suggesting any sexual like content or just material from them to himself personally. But because an emoji of an eggplant of some sort is used, he's a groomer. He's now grooming people, and he needs to be stopped. He needs to be held accountable. And then after that, like, it's like you say, it just progresses to he's a known pedophile. It's like, what a jump is made there.
And her harasser, but she doesn't even know that it's him or not. She just sees all these different accounts questioning her, and she thinks it's him. So it's my harasser.
Like, even in the video that she clipped saying, go after this guy on Twitch, she shares the video clip of him explaining why he reported and saved the content from somebody else who sent it to him, which was for terms of service, and it could have been for any reason, but it was just to get her off his back, basically. She still doesn't understand that.
No, she ignores that stuff. But now we get to a part where she goes after another streamer, but it's all because of this tweet she puts out about Mr. Girl.
Yeah.
So we'll start this video. And it ends up him going after her, getting caught up with another streamer who I guess is a fan of Mr. Girl and is a small streamer. It's like a young kid. But he totally tricks her and does the same thing like that would happen with Chris, where now she thinks this kid got paid by this dude to make a video about her, which didn't happen. Really, he was joking and trying to trap her into thinking that, so that you can show basically that she's looking for to think that, that's what she wants to think, and how easy it is to trick her, and how easy it is for her to believe things to be true that aren't true, and totally exposed it. And that's why she blocked me, because she put this video out that we're about to watch, and when she tweeted it out, she said something about it exposing somebody. Oh, the young streamer gets exposed or something. So I retweeted it. I retweeted her tweet and said, well, somebody gets exposed in this video, but it's not that kid, And then she blocked me like soon after that, but that's okay. She can block me. I don't mind, but I think it's funny that and then she does this as if she's deceiving the kid, but it's the other way around. She thinks in this video she thinks she's the one getting him to admit that he got paid to make the video, but the truth is he said that to someone else so that it would get back to her, so that she would think, so that you could show how easy it is that she even thinks doesn't she say he even thinks he is accusing another streamer of sexual harassment? He was joking of grooming him or something.
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous.
It's really silly.
What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be telling y'all a story about what's possibly the dumbest internet prank attempt in history, and how it actually exposes a real danger that people face online, especially content creators with little to no integrity. And I also really hope to make a bigger point here about being cautious who you interact with online, especially if you're a content creator. So this whole thing started when a small creator named FaZe CJ on Twitter and CJ Brown on Twitch and YouTube started to retweet stuff having to do with the Mr. Girl drama. CJ seems to really like Mr. Girl and really appreciate his artistic content.
Somebody who we like, Mr. Girl. Somebody who brings joy into our life. I'm a literal pedophile. pedophile. Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt.
Yeah, but
L-
so what if he's a fan? He's joking. Like he knows. And this is also
Obvious.
obviously a joke.
Oh,
Like the Mr. Girl video is so obviously a joke. Like, and he's like liking it as a kid, liking edgy humor.
Any adult who takes that video seriously, you shouldn't be on the internet.
So CJ started by posting on his own timeline about me and then somehow ended up on the Twitter profile of the man.
I like there's a huge scale. Well, he started by posting his thing about me, and it's like, well, it didn't start that way. There was already a controversy because of what she tweeted.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, let me see. I successfully tricked BXBullet into yeah, this funny how he pins it on his page and she's showing it right here. I successfully tricked BXBullet into promoting the hate video I made about her. If I can get her to spread misinformation this easily, what other false information has she been spreading?
Yeah.
That's the point
That's
he
the
makes.
point.
And completely exposes her for that. Doesn't even get it.
Mm-hmm.
She's wearing contacts? Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I wouldn't
yeah.
know though. Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the part where he was like, yeah, sorry, he paid me $50. And she said, good Lord, LMAO.
Yeah.
Post a retweet of him saying that he got. First off, imagine this guy did pay him $50 and wanted him to keep it secret. Why would he post it in a reply on Twitter? You know,
Yeah.
like, does that make any sense? She's that gullible and that naive that she fell for that instantly and was like, oh, that has to be it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Who was the subject of my rather high-profile case, Rain Plasma, aka
My
Matt.
high profile. Did she just call it a high profile
Yes,
case?
because this is going to be a Netflix,
Dude, that's
a
crazy
a
delusional.
Fox News documentary. This is big time. This is groundbreaking.
That's delusional. Oh my God.
Rocket. This man is an actual offending child sex predator and has preyed on multiple.
Where have you shown proof of that? And where is the convictions of this?
And you know what?
Like you're saying, she's saying, you hear how she's talking about him now. When you watch the video she made of this guy originally, like I said, it starts off with her saying that he's not, he's a suspected like child inappropriate with children, and it keeps changing, right? Then he's a groomer, then he's this, and it just keeps changing. Now she's like, we're convicted, blah blah, adding all these things as if it's definitive. This is straight up smearing a guy.
But you know what? She does something that I've noticed, which is she's selective with when she explains that it's her own child that's the victim of this type of stuff that she's accusing this guy
Because
of.
of her, because she
of
put
her.
a child in that danger.
But in that stream that she shares the clip of where the guy confronts the Rain Plasma guy asking him why did he do this, she's in the comments, she's in the live stream chat saying he's got footage of a child like nude, but doesn't say that it's her child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like she's
making it
using her
seem
kid
different.
as bait to prove these things as being what it is when it actually isn't that at all. So it's just convenient for her, basically.
But it's crazy that now the way she's moved on to what she's calling him now, and it's like, when did it get to that point?
Yeah.
Like I would like if I ever talked to this girl, it would be like, let's watch your first video about this guy and let's hear the first thing you call him, and then now let's hear what you call him, and you tell me when
Where
was the
in
point
between,
that you definitively proved this thing to change it from calling him a supposed pedophile or whatever or suspected one to being now a definitive one, for sure.
She's just such like
Offending, and called him an offending one. What's his offense?
Yeah.
Where do you have this proof that he offended?
And it's because of things like this, which all her credentials, which she constantly is like, look at my credentials. Like this shit here is why nobody takes her seriously, because she's like the law enforcement, the FBI, the child's abuse, whatever. They're all against me, and they don't know how to do their job properly. But she is the one where she's like, credentials, like it's just so stupid.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And she doesn't realize that all these things. This is another person that helps her too. Why are you a pedo supporter? Saying to this guy, but we don't know. Yeah, you're all over Raiden's timeline and suddenly making hit pieces about Bullet. Yeah. When has it been proven that this guy is a pedo? We have not seen the proof of that. We've seen all her proof, and it's nothing definitive.
Yeah.
So and she herself called him something supposed one, and just compiled this evidence. But when did it get to that he's definitely one? and that he shouldn't be allowed to defend himself of these accusations,
Yeah.
like, ever.
Right.
You know, so people can't make, like, this guy can't be on his timeline and hear him out and make a video about him. Like, hey, can I hear a video, like, about you, what you think about what she's saying about you? Like, can we hear that?
And so,
Why
like,
not?
people like Destiny and Hunter, like, she's expecting them to be on her side, you know, exposing these things with her, because this is just awful, groundbreaking Netflix, Fox News information that's going to be breaking around here. But people are now hearing what she's doing to other people too, like now Mr. Girl as well, like, and they're like, this is, like, you're an awful person, like, there's no other way to say it. You're
Yeah,
just,
I don't
that
get
accusation
what she's trying to do here.
to
Of my
accuse
rather
somebody.
high profile case, Rain Plasma, aka Matt
Rather high profile. It's not high profile.
not
That is
high
extremely
profile.
delusional, man. I can't believe she calls it high profile.
Brackett. This man is an actual offending child
See,
sex
an actual offending child sex
predator and has preyed on
predator, and has preyed on multiple. We
What?
need to
Multiple.
we need to see police action on this,
Yeah.
because if you had enough evidence to prove that that is correct, what you're saying about him, he should be arrested right now.
Yeah.
The reason he's not arrested right now is because there isn't
There's
enough proof
no
of what
proof.
she's saying.
Yeah.
All the evidence she has is super shoddy and would never go anywhere in court. In
Yeah.
fact, a judge would probably throw that out the window if they seen that evidence.
multiple streamers with scams, doxing, threats, blackmail.
Maybe he did scams, maybe he did doxing, maybe he did that.
The
That
only
means
two-
nothing unless you show that that's true. In some cases, she shows that some of these are true, but all of those are on her, and those are all from ones from her harassing him.
Yeah, and it's
You know what I'm saying?
promises of free stuff. It's promises of free products, like free energy drinks and a free laptop. Is all I've heard so far of these promotional products that she's been scammed out of, or something like that. Hers was the energy drinks. Somebody else's was the iPad or something like that. But these are free things that are being somehow promised or what in one way or another. It's not like there was any any financial exchange. Like, when I'm hearing scam, I'm thinking like there's some money that's been you lent someone money or something like that, bought into something, and there was some promise of like money back or whatever. That none of that seems to have happened. If that was what happened, I would expect her to have, at this point, almost 2 years later, shown some of that. But all I've heard is the energy drinks and this free iPad, but that's it. So I don't get it.
She says, meanwhile, I have an offending child predator paying YouTubers to make hate videos about me. That's not what is happening, but
No.
it's making videos. Well, he should be making videos defending him, but nobody defends him. If you take money from Raiden TCGS, Rain Plasma, or any of his alts, you are a disgusting human being. If I find out, I will call you out. And I'm totally fine with that. If I had a platform and big enough, I would tell this guy, yeah, you could pay me to come on and I'll grill you about this. And we'll watch her entire video together of all her proof against them.
Yeah.
And let him give his side of the story on all of that.
Yeah.
I would totally do that. Why not? Because everybody should be allowed to defend themselves. Tell someone accuses someone of doing something, I automatically think that it's something that I don't know if she's a pedo, but
I for
but
real feel
she
that
might
way,
be
man.
obsessed with that concept, because she does do this a lot, and this whole thing starts with her thinking that Mr. Girl was doing a stream with a pedophile, but that's not what it was. It was something else altogether.
Yeah.
And she got confused, and so she called, and this is where this whole starts, because she kind of calls for him to get taken down, and then says it isn't, but we'll get to that. But then, but yeah, if you take money from this, and I don't see a problem with that. And then this chick retweets and says, sorry, this is happening. Seems like Raiden's TCG tries on this on a lot of people, only dumb ones. Why is it dumb? Actually take the bait? What's the bait? Why is it dumb to take money from a guy who someone is accusing of stuff to, like, hear what the accusations are? Like, he's not paying us.
No.
Shit, we're doing this for free. We're doing this for free. If he wanted to pay us, he could, but we're doing this for free. I mean, we don't have a big enough platform to get paid for this, but we're doing this for free. And we haven't heard his side at all.
No.
Because it looks like she has a concerted effort to stop his side from being heard.
Yeah.
And anybody, like her friend right here, that Alicia chick, if anybody makes a video about that guy's side or makes a video about her then she tweets it out and says stuff like, "Oh, why are you on a pedophile? You're a pedophile
Yeah.
supporter, this and that." Like, I don't know that the other guy's a pedophile.
No.
Everything you've shown has not led me to believe that.
Yeah.
Has led me to believe that maybe this guy maybe doesn't have a filter around young people, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not like she's showing us him, showing any, anything to do with pedophilia, really. Edgy humor around kids.
Yeah, that's all
Okay.
we've seen from that one server, and that server is now shut down as
Mhm.
well. So like, but that person, this Alicia person, using words like pedo supporter, that's all stuff coming from
Mhm.
from BXBullet basically. So
And a
she's
lot of
gonna
the
be
screen
like,
caps they show are also out of context, and they're telling you the context around the image.
yeah,
And I'd rather see the actual picture. I don't believe
exactly.
you on what you're telling me the context of this screen cap is.
To bring it
Like, I
back
have to
to
see the whole thing.
that makes me think of the issue with Destiny, because that's why Destiny ended up sharing all the DMs. She's like, you're getting a window of what these conversations were, and she's blowing them up to like bestie of the year type of friendship levels. That's why Destiny shared the whole DMs, to be like, there is nothing here. There is absolutely nothing here. So the type of like criticism she's giving to how he's responding to her in voice
No, but there's
compared to
also
DMs.
like stuff that he does, like where she'll show him talking and then she'll be like, "Look what he said in this server," which, by the way, here's a whole other screen cap from the server where I show you that there's kids who are underage on this server, but and then here's this other image that shows you there's a rank or a role for kids who are underage, but then here's this image of him saying something in the server while there's kids around, because I just showed you there was kids around, but I don't know what channel that's in. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a different channel. The kids aren't allowed in. He's saying that. I don't know if that's even in the same Discord, because all she's showing you is a little thread of people saying shit.
And
Zero clue if it's a whole Discord, because she's not screenshotting the whole
everything,
Discord.
yeah. She
How do I
wants
know
you
it's in
to-
the same server? How do I
Exactly.
know it's in the same channel? I don't,
like the parts where she has shown some of his reactions in that server is him actually being like, what the fuck is going on here? And not like encouraging it on, being like
Yeah, that was a weird
I'm closing the door, I'm walking away. Like,
She
continue,
said
but
he
I
was
don't want to be a part
encouraging
of
them
it.
to.
Yeah.
I think this kid says that in his video about this too, where he's like, "This is so dumb." She's showing the screen cap saying that she's encouraging these teenagers to have like a fanfic, like an
Sexual
underage sexual
suggestions.
fanfic,
Yeah.
and then when you look at the screen cap, he's actually like, "What the fuck is
He
wrong
seems
with you
repulsed
people?" Like,
by
he's not
it.
encouraging it at all,
Yeah.
and actually wants nothing to do with it. Um, Yeah, they're crying about it. Oh my God, the pedophile that is harassing me and paying people to make hate videos about me. Oh my God, poor me, woe is me.
Make a
Meanwhile,
documentary
she called the police on him. She did all this stuff on him. Like,
Yeah.
she started beef with all these other people that are actually coming at her. Like,
Mhm.
the whole thing with Hunter was Hunter didn't even make that video, which is
No.
funny because this chick, the only dumb ones like Hunter and blah blah actually take the bait. Hunter didn't even make a
Yeah.
video. He
The
didn't even
video
do it.
Hunter made was showing where, like, just showing the timestamps and dates to all these things, which she is saying, like, oh, they must have like a really good friendship and they must be like colluding against me and making all this material, blah blah blah. And he's like, no, I haven't done any of that. And like, dummy, I have all my streams cataloged in my Twitch. You can even look for yourself the dates of when I'm talking about these things, which is just, she doesn't even understand that still.
So it's funny
Completely
that
overlooks
she's just bitching about it all day about fucking people. Oh, this guy's getting paid, when the first one was declined and that video never even got made. And then the second dude is lying
Yeah.
as a joke
Yeah.
to show how easily she falls for
people are
shit
so
and
gullible.
builds a narrative off of something. And now from him saying that, now she's done. There's a offending child predator paying YouTubers to make hate videos about me, something that's not happening.
Yeah.
You know?
That's not happening.
And in fact, the only time she has any proof that he went to go pay anybody was with Hunter. And the thing with Hunter was not to make a hate video about her, was to make a video defending himself.
Yeah.
Was to go over some proof that shows that he's not what she
Not
thinks
what
he
he's
is.
being accused of. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of going through that, he said, hey, why don't you... Hunter said, hey, instead of that, why don't you come on a stream and we'll go over it together?
Yeah.
which is basically, why don't you come on and I'll give you a chance to defend yourself against what she's saying. He even says, I'm going to grill you though. So, like, I'm not going to take it easy on you. If I note an inconsistency, I'm going to go after you about it.
Yeah.
Even famously brags about having
But
saved a
she's even upset about that because he's not allowed to. That's what I'm saying. He's not allowed to. In her mind, he's not allowed to defend himself. She could just accuse him. And now anybody who gets a video or anything about this guy is, on his side, a supporter.
Yeah.
But really, all anybody would want, and what she should want herself, is for accusers to have a chance to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically, this guy has friends in high places, is what she would want you to believe,
Yeah.
but is not true at all.
a clip of my daughter running into my stream room naked and hanging it over my head in an attempt to
Yeah, that's your own fault. Maybe if you weren't harassing people and calling police on people, people wouldn't take clips of your daughter running into the room naked on your own stream to blackmail you with it. You know what I'm saying? That seems like that's something you do to yourself, because you're a kind of person that goes after people. You should be clean as shit, clean as a whistle, because if you can go after people and stalk them and harass them and try to get them taken down from their livelihoods and try to get the police to go after them and investigate them, then you leave yourself open to have the same thing happen to you. So if he had his child run on stream, I bet you any fucking money that this girl would have clipped that shit and would have held it over his head and gotten all this shit taken down and did her best to, oh, look at this, he has his new daughter come on the screen, blah, blah, and would have never forgave him, even though she asked for forgiveness when it happens to her. And you know what I'm saying? And
this is why in that clip with him explaining why he did it for any reason, they like this word, morally bankrupt. They're like, wow, man, you must be morally bankrupt to do something like that. But if it was thrown at her, why did she report this guy for something like that? She would also make the response of, I didn't know, it was because I was concerned, like probably something like that, where she's like, I was concerned.
Yeah, but she didn't stop at that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when nothing happened about that, she went further and tried to get all his Twitch taken down, his YouTube, his Discords, then when the police came back and nothing, then she started trying to harass the police with Twitter and tag the detectives from his home city. She put his police department from his home city's Twitter and said, everybody, harass the police and tell them to go after this guy.
She even
what do you expect? But he can't go after you in any way, or he's a douchebag? It's not his fault your daughter ran on screen. You know what I'm saying? That's your fault. And now you as a streamer and a mother can plead to Twitch and say, oh, I'm sorry, it was an accident. Most likely Twitch would say, okay, don't let it happen again. That's cool.
Instead,
but if you're a person who goes after people and tries to get their accounts shut down and dox people and shit, expect that shit to come back at you.
Exactly.
And the same thing's going to happen to you, and people are going to be watching your streams for any little fuck up you do so that they can report it and get you taken down. Because that's what you do, so it comes to you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure anyone would be forgiving for a young toddler running on the screen unclothed and be like, that's an accident. Accidents happen. Like, of course, you know what I mean? But it's like you say, it's that she's poking the bear first and then doesn't understand, like, wow, why is this judgment like landing back in my face? Like, that's not fair.
I don't blame this dude at all.
No, I really don't.
For that. I don't blame him at all for that.
No.
I think that actually is an appropriate response for what she put that guy through.
Yeah.
threaten me. But don't take my word for it, take his.
You stated on your stream last Friday that you were desperate to blackmail BX. Those words came out of your mouth.
Yes, he was desperate to blackmail her. Why would he be? It's funny that question doesn't get asked next. When he says yes at that, yes, I was desperate to blackmail her. Why was the next question? Well, why were you so desperate to blackmail her? And let's hear that part.
I'd really be interested.
Let's hear that part. Yeah. But they don't.
Because again, like this has been.
And that is why I used the picture.
When I first saw this tweet, I thought this was like fresh in the new year of 2022. Like type of situations that was happening at the moment. Then when we start to look this up one day a little bit, this is from back in 2020. Like this is almost 2 years have gone by basically now. So I can only imagine what like about 2 years that has been what that basically like what that 2 years has been like for this guy. with just what we've seen from her so far.
Well, if he was making money off the internet at any point, that got destroyed probably for a while. And that's probably why he was desperate to get her to stop harassing him, because he's trying to make a living off the internet, streaming and doing stuff. She's saying he's a scam artist. If that's the case, then just make videos about him scamming people. But you're adding this whole other accusation that seems like bullshit, then you ruin your chances of busting him for scamming too, because it just, all your accusations just seem like bullshit.
Why is that appropriate? And how is that? Go ahead.
Why is that appropriate? Because he was desperate. That's why not just say, why were you desperate?
Yeah.
It's not that particular incident, maybe not appropriate, but that was the only thing we were trying to do was get her banned.
So you're saying that you were willing to go to any lengths, no matter how depraved it was, to get back at this person?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Why?
Exactly.
Why?
Why?
Let's hear why.
Find
Let's
that
hear why. Instead,
disgusting about yourself, because I think
but I like how you see this is where there's a bias. Instantly, right after he says yes, the guy says, "Do you find that disgusting about yourself?"
Yeah.
As opposed to saying, "What did she do to you that made you sink to that level? Why were you so desperate? Like, what had happened between you two that made you so desperate to do this, to do anything to get her banned?" But he doesn't do that. He goes straight to go, "Do you feel like you're disgusting for doing something like that?" Well, maybe, but is that irrelevant? Like, what would be more relevant is to find out, what did she do to appropriate a response like that?
Right.
I think everybody finds that disgusting.
It's retaliation.
Also, all these other people.
It's retaliation, and then she stops the video. But retaliation for what? That would be an interesting thing for her to put in her video. If she was a very open and honest person, she would explain, well, he means retaliation because I did this and that, and now he's retaliating back against these things that that I had done towards him. But she doesn't say that. She completely ignores the fact that he just said it was retaliation. Retaliation for what, BXBullet? What was it retaliation for?
Also,
or him? I would love to ask him. Hey, man, what was that retaliation for? Why don't you tell us all the things that had happened up until this point that made you desperate to do this?
Corroborate all the claims by pitching in their own horror stories about how this criminal has tormented them, doxed them, and threatened their.
That's fine, but that doesn't make him a pedophile. None of this does, and none of this makes this true. Like, we need evidence for all these things. Just a bunch of people saying it on the internet doesn't mean anything,
Families. As soon as CJ arrives at Matt's Twitter, certain people who've been backing me immediately.
BX, you are a fucking moron. LOL. Everyone literally just laughs at you. Also, what are these pictures? Auctions for Whale magazine? She got me mad today. LOL. You are talking to an actual offending pedo right now. I don't know if you knew that or not. But you'd have to prove that to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And if he's an offending pedo and he's not in prison, or the police aren't knocking on his door right this instant, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you even have the evidence to prove that. Because if you did, the police would be knocking on his door right now. You wouldn't be talking about this on Twitter, because this would be an ongoing investigation with the police busting his door right now.
One part we laughed at a lot was how she writes in that blog, well, somehow he was tipped off, and you're like, well, I'm sure he was tipped off as an investigator.
I went to the police about him, and somehow he found out I did.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to think this whole started, because in her original blog, that's how it sounds like it started. It sounds like she called the police on him, wanted to do it secretly. Somehow he found out it was her. And I think that somehow is that the police investigated him and probably told him, yeah, this account said that you did this and that. And he's like, no, I didn't do none of this. Oh, okay. And it ended there. And the investigation ended there. The guy's totally clean, I bet. And she doesn't understand why the police haven't done it.
Yeah.
Police don't do anything. Twitch hasn't done anything. Like, all of this is about straight up
just her lying.
Yeah, just her well, just her not having enough evidence and thinking that something is something that it's not,
Yeah.
He warned him about who he's talking to, and even acknowledged he had heard
who he's talking
about
to. Somebody warning you on the internet about who you're talking to means nothing. People on the internet are nobodies. If I am talking to somebody and this Alicia chick came up to me and said, oh, did you know you're talking to an offending pedo right now? I'd be like, no, I don't know that. And that doesn't, and you telling me that doesn't assure me that it is. Like, I'd have to see serious proof
Yeah.
to even believe you if I'm going to keep talking to them. Because you can't, you just saying that, I can go and say that about anyone. If I want, I can go to everybody you ever respond to and responds to you and say the same thing about you. You know what I'm saying? And what's going to happen then, right? Nothing. Should people believe me? You know?
Exactly. Like, these people are just perpetually online. It's like when Hunter said to her, like, Hunter and BX had a back and forth on Twitter, and she concluded Hunter telling her, log off the internet and take some time, like, to, like, just focus on your mental health, as in go kill yourself, is how this just airhead has interpreted that to mean, which is like, just, they're so perpetually online, they don't realize that people, like, just the average person not on the internet, consumed by all of this bullshit, they're not going to look at it the same way and be like, I know exactly who that is, and of course that's true. It's like, people want more. Like, how did that content get into his hands? As I'm sure a question that a lot of people would have, which is what she banned me for, to ask, like, well, like, what, like, how did that happen?
How did that happen that he got a picture of your daughter naked on a stream with you to report you to Twitch and get you banned?
Yeah.
How did he get that photo? And it was because she happened to let her daughter run on stream. Right? Yeah. And it was her own fault, which, again, like I said, is a forgivable offense, and she could just say, yeah, I'm sorry, but then don't blame somebody for trying to ban you with that when you would do the same, and you have been trying to do the same for the whole time, you know.
Public incident with my daughter, and actually looking, if you look back to my post,
incident with my daughter that everybody knows the truth on, and nobody has a problem with.
CJ actually responded to this tweet as well, right here. So not only did he know my side of the story, but he had seen what
I know.
What do you mean? Like, she says this as if she hasn't put this information out herself in a blog post. Yeah. Anybody has taken the time to read. She documented this nonsense herself. So nobody's just all of a sudden got the information because they've got it from Rain Plasma. She wrote a blog about this stuff. Like,
yeah, I've seen all her information on this, and I think most of it's very questionable. So just from her side, so for her to be like, but he knows that this and that doesn't really mean anything. That doesn't mean that he can't talk to this person. Like, I'd still talk to this person.
Others had experienced as well. But this wasn't enough to get poor dumb CJ to back away and maybe, I don't know, not engage with the known predator. You see, Matt is extremely...
He's only a known predator because you call him such. It's not because he's been proven in a court of law or anybody else has actually shown it to be. She's the only one that calls him this, and the people that she's convinced. And that's it, you know.
The only other thing that we've seen was in that server that he used to run, someone had shared that was like around, like, I think they said their age was around 17 or something like that. They had like a nude photo which they themselves put out in that server in like one of the adult channels of the server. She was fine with that at first, then felt a little, you know, just a little regretful of that or just embarrassed by it. And the whole server was like, the whole thread of that just adults channel was taken down. The photo was removed as well. Nothing was like held over somebody's head. It didn't seem that way from what we've seen so far. So
extremely predictable. And he did what he does best. He immediately slid into this naive, clout-hungry kid's Twitter DMs and began feeding him lies. But let's back up for a moment. So a couple of days ago, I hopped on Twitter and I noticed this guy...
So again, she's saying that Rain Plasma guy is in this CJ kid's DMs?
Yeah.
Feeding him lies? Where? Like, where's that? Maybe she'll show that, but I haven't seen that. BXBullet contacts the National Center for Missing... Yeah. This is after, she's not showing what this after, but this is after showing the thing with Mr. Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And she's saying, she said, I don't want anyone banned. I would never go after anyone for that thing. And then she says, well, here it is. BXBullet admits she contacts the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children over a 16-year-old writing fan fiction, which is the thing we're saying.
And Specty Poo is the
guy CJ had made a...
Sorry, what?
Specty Poo and the server clips are Rain Plasma.
Tweet kind of falsely claiming I contacted NCMEC, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, over an erotic fan fiction, which is a far cry from the actual truth. Like, if you want to hear all about it, the video about...
We saw that one, and it really was an erotic fan fiction. And actually, the Rain Plasma guy was like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you doing this?
how horrible this man is linked in the description below. But anyways, I noticed in the comments that our known child predator friend Matt had offered to tell CJ his side of the story, and CJ had obliged.
So she's saying, hold on. Is she saying this guy is him now? You're misinterpreting Zach Reed. So she's saying this account is this Rain Plasma guy now. Where does she have proof of that? Say no to Mandate's #1 simp on Twitter, Zach Reed. Where does she know that that's who that is? Like, can she show any evidence?
Had offered to tell CJ his side of the story, and CJ had obliged.
Yeah, why not? That guy should be able to tell his side of the story.
Yeah.
I don't see what says that he can't, or why it's bad for anyone to hear his side of the story. Why is that a bad thing?
Now remember,
she never really explains that. She just says it is. She just says, "Oh, you're gonna listen to a known pedophile." Yeah. Why not? You know, what's the problem? What's the problem?
CJ had a history dating back to January of engaging with my tweets about this man, but was somehow still too dumb to avoid engaging with him.
No, but it's not that I'm not avoiding engaging with him. I just don't care to. But if he wanted to engage with me, he could. Why would I? Why would it be dumb if I didn't avoid it?
Yeah.
In fact, I would look for it because I would think, you know, somewhere on the internet, this man should be allowed to defend himself against these accusations. Someone should have him on stream.
Maybe I'm being disingenuous when I call him dumb. Maybe he just enjoys making friends with similar interests, like, you know, sending minors revenge porn online, or saving videos of nude 3-year-olds to his computer to black.
But that was to blackmail you for the harassment you did, and that was from you having a naked 3-year-old on your stream, not on his stream, on your stream.
Like, just listen to this logic of what she said right there, is that, so Rain Plasma clipped that video, sent it to himself, and used it to report to Twitch. Like, he did all that himself. That makes absolutely no sense. Why would he save something, send it to himself, and then report it? I don't understand how her brain works.
Yeah, why would he report himself for something bad he was doing? Yeah, that makes
himself.
Zero sense.
Like,
correct.
Someone else sent it to him.
No sense.
Because they were like, and they even said it themselves. We have a reason to report BXBullet on Twitch for terms of service. She goes on to say that person who saved that footage is disabled, and Rain Plasma is taking advantage of a disabled person. I don't even know if that woman is actually disabled or mentally challenged or something. She may be ableist a little bit saying that stuff. It just sounds silly to make that accusation.
And then the other thing where she's saying he sent revenge porn to minors, I don't know that to be true. I don't remember that in the proof that she showed at all. I don't remember that aspect.
That would be a great question to ask.
The one I do remember is she chatted with somebody who said he had nude images of one of the streamers they sponsored in a separate channel that was only for adults, and it was for the mods, and she had given them permission, and she was over 18 because she asked, "Oh, is she underage?" And he said, "No, I didn't know her age, but she looked like 19, 20." Possibly 21. And so I think she's just assuming the girl was really underage or something. But then she said, "Oh, something happened and she wanted it taken down, so they took it down." I was like, where's the problem there?
Where's the
like
problem there?
That's zero. They're showing that as evidence, as if something bad happened, and it's like none of that sounded bad.
No.
That all sounded completely consensual and respectful.
Yeah, exactly. Someone respecting I actually don't feel comfortable putting that out there if you wouldn't mind, and they obliged by it.
Simple as that.
Blackmail people who speak out against his abuse. I don't know. So as we know,
he wasn't blackmailing you to stop speaking out against his abuse. I think he was blackmailing her to stop trying to ban him.
Yeah.
You know, because he's trying to make a living off the internet doing streams and shit. So
CJ had definitely watched my videos about Mad. In fact, he watched it live on his stream. Rocket is a serial harasser.
Serial harasser?
Yeah, but this is all... It's weird that she says, he's got to know all this stuff. He watched me talk about it. And it's like, yeah, but why should people believe you on face value? You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't this mean anything to you that you say... At what point do you say, how come people keep watching me and doing the opposite? You know, like maybe it's because you're not believable. I don't know.
It's just so funny. Every time she does this, she has this like expectation of, there, I did it. That shut them up this time, and it's not. The opposite, it absolutely is not, because she gets it just so wrong, and people like make a fool.
Sir,
out.
okay. Well, right off the bat, there's nothing wrong with being a serial harasser. You know what I mean? It depends on who you're harassing. Okay.
Pedophile and no
Accused.
Yeah, I mean,
Accused
I
pedophile.
don't actually say there's nothing wrong with being a serial harasser, but I don't think it's bad to be serial harassed when you yourself are a serial harasser.
Right.
By all intents and purposes, she admits to harassing this guy.
Yeah.
She doesn't call it harassment, but when you hear everything she herself admits she's done to this guy, you're like, oh, she's been harassing him for a long time. And he's just harassing back, basically.
Even in the descriptions of a lot of these videos that she's talking about here, she even puts the rain plasma guy's like information in the description, and then gives instructions.
Even the title to this: "World's Dumbest Internet Prankster Aligns with Child Predator to Smear Me."
Yeah.
So she's already calling this guy a child predator. She's saying this guy aligns with a child predator, something that she has not even proven. This guy's never been accused in a court of law of this. If there has been any investigation of this, because she claims she went to the police, so if there have been any investigation about this, it hasn't gone anywhere at all. Like, so he's shown nothing. So to even go out and still call this guy a child predator after all this time, at least say supposed, you know, or you know, something like that.
But
Suspected,
she puts, like, instructions
but he just straight up calls him a child predator. Why? Like, what proof do you have? Like, you're not an authority in this.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We need to hear police say this, somebody of authority say this, to know it's true.
Accused pedophile. Everybody's an accused pedophile, though.
That's a good point he makes. That's a fantastic point he's making. Everybody's an accused pedophile, especially on the internet. People are constantly calling each other pedophile over the internet. How do we know who is? We're just supposed to believe that anytime someone's called that's what they are. We just believe it on face value.
Have you ever been? If you have access to internet, you are an accused pedophile. Somebody on the internet.
That's not a bad point.
Yeah.
If you exist on the internet, has found a way to call you a pedophile.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
and
I think that's a pretty good. In fact, BXBullet should check out my chat if she ever watched this, because in my chat somebody said that she's a pedophile.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody accused her of that. Said,
she
"Oh
did
man,
it to
somebody
me."
look, this guy right here. I don't even know this guy." Says, "Now anytime someone accuses someone of doing something, I automatically think it's something the accuser is actually doing. So she's a pedophile."
Yeah.
You see that? So she's just said, "I don't know about that, Chief," to this guy saying that everyone who's got access to the internet has been called a pedophile. But she has been.
And
Should I believe this guy and what he's saying and say that is a good enough reasoning?
Exactly.
I'm gonna think she is one. You know, should I?
Yeah.
even made a YouTube video out of it called BXBullet is Awful, which is on his
Which I agree, she is pretty awful.
YouTube account called
But
CJ
that's just my own personal opinion.
Brown. Scrolling through his YouTube page, man, he sure has a lot of videos for a creator with 125 subscribers. So he posted a link to his video all over Reddit and on Twitter, and this post doing numbers, in hopes people would, I guess, see it. In it, he clearly stands Mr. Girl and definitely grooves along to the baby rape glorification anthem
what I just
called
thought?
I'm a Pedophile.
That's not what that song is. It's satirical. She's calling it a glorification song. It doesn't. It actually sings about the bad of it and why it's bad. Like, she doesn't get it, though.
You
I think
know
he
what?
used to
She
talk
points out
about
how
me.
many videos this CJ guy has for like having like such small views or whatever. Like, it's funny she pokes at that because apparently like this girl, she just recently got her channel monetized. So like, what's happening?
Yeah, she was going after bigger channels. That didn't work. Now she's going after smaller channels.
Yeah.
Like, this kid's just a new YouTuber. He doesn't have many followers yet. She went after Hunter, then Destiny, and then she goes after this kid?
Yeah.
Weird.
For a pretty irrelevant and not particularly riveting 14 minutes.
What you wanna see? What you want me to be? Keep hating, baby. I keep raping these babies.
Keep hating, baby. I keep raping these babies.
I'll be honest, I didn't
mean,
sit down to watch.
He seems like a young kid. That's exactly the kind of humor I liked when I was a kid. Kids like edgy humor. I mean, now I kind of find that kind of cringy and shit, but when I was 19, 20, I would have died laughing at that song. Was it? Oh my god! There were so many goofy
It's a
songs
clever
about
video and it's well put together
disgusting
as well.
things that when I was a kid I found hilarious. You know, who cares?
it until I made this video because until today, I had no reason to care. What happened today? Well, it's funny. I began to wonder what was happening
Look at she
in
wrote
the
a script. She's
I
reading the
was
script.
just,
hate
oh
that.
my god, thank you, because
I hate
I
people reading
thought
scripts.
this from the time this video started. Oh my god.
DMs between CJ and Matt.
It's like Sean
So I
Speak.
asked
He
someone
doesn't have a
close to the
script like that.
situation with Matt to help me gather some info because I was actually wondering.
Oh, yeah, of course, this Alicia chick. Can you repost this? Help me see if we can find out whether or not Raiden paid this kid CJ to make his video. I made a video about how much I hate BXBullet, right? And he put out this video. Can you post this? Whether or not Raiden... So she's looking for that. She's purposely looking for that.
If he had been asked to make that YouTube video by my harasser. If you remember from a few videos back, I speculated this to be the case with Hunter Avalone, and I turned out to be correct.
No, actually, she turned out to be wrong,
Oh
actually. And the video that she saw that she thought this guy paid him to make wasn't the video he paid him to make. And he actually... She was right about the thing that the guy was paying him to make a video. What she was wrong about was that the video Hunter ended up making was that video, because it wasn't. That was a video that he cut off a stream that he did prior to this guy offering him money, and he was going to accept it and then backed out at the last minute after hearing all the drama behind this, and he was like, actually, I'd rather not do this, and declined it all.
Which is why Hunter the streams.
And ever since then, I've always wondered who else he's gotten in touch with and or collaborated with. So I had my friend quote tweet CJ and call him out to see if he would respond. And guess what? He did. I wasn't particularly convinced by this $50 story, though. It just seemed a little too convenient, and it seemed like he gave that information up way too easy. So I asked my friend to, continue moving forward and to see what we could figure out. At one point, he even sent my...
Oh my gosh, I couldn't pause it. It was out of control.
What kind of stream that you are?
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger.
Because I was actually wondering if he had been asked to make that YouTube video by my harasser. If you remember from a few videos back, I speculated this to be the case with...
Grant, maybe that Zerka guy did. I don't know.
Oh
He was at her house.
Yeah.
She says nothing happened. They're just friends.
Which
Hunter
is
out.
so funny because she has calmed down a little bit.
A little bit, right? She, at least after this video, she's made 3 new videos and they've had nothing to do with internet drama. So that's good. Maybe 4 new videos.
I think so, yeah.
Blown, and I turned out to be correct. And ever since then, I've always wondered who else he's got.
But again, when she says I seem to be correct, we know that this is why I say you
She's
can't
just
believe her story, because
delusional.
even that, there's a lie by omission in that, right?
Yeah, she knows more than law enforcement, FBI, child safety, abuse organizations.
Gotten in touch with and or collaborated with. So I had my friend quote tweet CJ and call him out to see if he would respond. And guess what? He did. I wasn't particularly...
He says sorry. Like, imagine this guy did get paid, and even if he did, 2 things out of this that makes it super funny. Sorry, he paid me $50. So it's like if he did pay him and it was supposed to be a secret that he's paying people, why would he say it on Twitter just loudly like that as a reply? And secondly, even if he did, then we know he doesn't find a problem with getting paid by this dude, you know, just as I wouldn't. This is where it's funny where she keeps doing this, but what people aren't saying is, so what's the problem with that? Why would it be a problem that somebody took money from this guy to make a video about you?
In that,
I don't understand where the issue is there.
In that Twitch blog that she writes, at the very bottom of it, it exposes what her whole ambition for this whole hate campaign that she's got against this guy is, that she has not been able to monetize her content for a while right now. Only recently has one of her streams been monetized, 2 years into this whole hate harassment campaign that she's been spewing, right? But she's complaining about somebody getting money for, making a video about this type of situation going on. CJ's joking about it, but it's like you said, who cares? If people get money for it,
what does that matter?
People take commission.
They're making a big gaffer, like this guy right here says. Was there so much for damn, and calling you out on what? On accepting money to make a video? Who cares?
Who cares?
Why is that a bad thing? What's the
people
call out?
Get paid to
what's
do
the
jobs.
call out on? Yeah, what's the call out on? I don't get it. Don't you want to get paid to make videos?
Exactly, right? It's work.
Isn't that why you're making videos, to get paid for it, or?
Clearly convinced by this $50 story, though. It just seemed a little too convenient, and it seemed like he gave that information up way too easy. So I asked my friend to,
She's suspicious now.
I asked my friend to dig in. Why didn't you just ask him? He's obviously being a turd to your friend. I think he might be trying to fuck with me. I know he's in DMs with Raiden though. Let's
continue moving forward and to see what we could figure out. At one point, he even sent my friend a message asking her to delete her tweet, claiming he would have to give the money back if he was exposed. But this still wasn't enough to convince me, so we continued to engage, and I engaged with his tweets as well, even posting my own tweet about this
weird feeling not knowing how much of the hate I get is real and how much is sponsored and paid for by a criminal child sex predator who has victimized my family and me for 2 years. She's victimized him for 2 years. Oh my god.
Not the ego, the big
manipulation
brain
that's
on
hard
this
to
chick.
combat with reason.
I can't believe the big
That's
brain
insane,
this
the
chick
way
has.
she twists
She
things
writes
to
these
sound.
things.
Like, she's been going after him for 2 years.
Why
She started
me?
this, but it's her being victimized.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
Like, if I had not known any better, this sounds like a spiteful ex type of situation. Doesn't this just
That's
come
what it
off
sounds like,
that
yeah.
way?
Like a divorce and the person's
Yeah,
trying to
and
use
it's
anything to get custody and it's
yeah,
just like being mean as shit.
Because, like, what starts all this shit? To get to this level, it's just insane.
form of psychological manipulation that Matt has subjected me to by paying my competitors to smear me. Now, to be fair, there is no lie in this.
I don't think he's
I don't even think
even if he
that's
is paying them, I don't think the
situation.
payment is to smear. This is where she switches it too, because I don't think the payment is to smear her. The payment is to show his
It isn't
side
Yeah.
of the thing, right? When
Yeah.
he paid what he was offering to Hunter, which we haven't seen him offer anything to the CJ kid. That's all bullshit. But what he offered to Hunter was he had files to show the opposite of what she was saying.
Exactly.
So yeah, listen, she's saying all these things about me. I have these files that show that she's full of shit, basically. I can show you the context to all these things.
Really?
And
Sorry, go ahead.
you know, and Hunter would have, instead of accepting the money, he said, well, how about you just come on stream and we go over it together? So basically he would just be defending himself. That's the only thing and the only evidence or explanation we've ever had of this guy paying somebody to make a video, not her.
At this point, it seems like she's the one doing the smearing. She even has a Google Doc. Like in one, I remember in one video clip we saw, she had sent a Google Doc of all these files
Oh, it's
that
hers.
she has
That's
on
her
this guy.
Google Doc. She has a bunch of evidence on this dude that she says is evidence of him being a pedophile. But you go over it, and it's
nothing.
not enough evidence.
It's nothing. You
There's
have to
hardly
force
anything
yourself
there.
to see it this way. And
You
she'll
have to
say-
actually make like connections that aren't there, and just kind of use your imagination to see how it can be construed as such. Like,
But she'll once again, the credentials. She's a private investigator. Everyone, hold on to your hats. I know, but she's a private investigator, so this is why her proof is the end all and be all proof, and anybody else correcting her saying that's not true is trying to smear her, when it's her doing the smearing, basically.
yeah, insane. It doesn't make any sense.
Extremely strange feeling knowing that he's out there doing all of this stuff.
And he should be. He should be allowed to defend himself. In fact, she should have him on to defend himself. She should talk to him on a live stream and let him defend himself, but she wouldn't. And she actually does this and makes videos against people who would talk to this guy and have him defend himself and hear his side of the story. So, like, this is almost a gaslighting thing where it's like, you have to listen to me. He's not allowed to be heard. Every accusation I said is true. Anything he says to defend himself is a lie, and him harassing me. Anybody who says that he has a side is somebody who is harassing me and could possibly be him. You know, like so.
I really hope that she's doing her own filming of this documentary, which she wants to put together.
wish.
Just so I can laugh at her dumb face from behind the scenes, because it's got to be just her doing all this, putting together documentary footage for this situation. Because I'm sure that if anybody else were to pick up a documentary of this for this specific topic, they would be interested in hearing Rain Plasma's side as well. She doesn't want Rain Plasma's side at all, so it's going to be her biased opinion from all of this nonsense right now. So I just want to laugh at it if she's the one doing all this footage.
And here's where our poor dumb friend CJ threw us a very strange curveball. So I unblocked him and allowed him to respond. I wonder if he really is under 20 and living with his parents.
Yeah, he probably is. He's a kid. So what? Because he's a kid that none of this could be
They're
right.
great. I love the Lego cars.
Wow, how did I guess that? First, he bizarre.
Because he looks like a kid?
Yeah.
Maybe that's how you
like
guessed
out
it,
of high
because he
school.
looks and sounds like one?
Hardly roped my streamer friend Critical Canadian into the drama by tagging him and claiming he begged him not to put the video up. It's funny though, Critical Canadian replied and had no idea who this CJ dude even was. At this
Yeah, because it's called a joke.
A
He's
joke.
messing with you and
Yeah.
bringing in other people because he wants eyes on his channel. But this just shows you how easy it is to trick her. Where a kid who just wants eyes on his channel and try to get some views can trick her into saying,
Yeah.
starting a drama and doing all this shit and dragging
At this
her
point, I
along.
knew for sure he was lying, and I was
Yeah, what's up,
probably
Les?
in DMs with Matt trying to fuck with us. And then
Yeah, and he says, I'm 18 right now. He was grooming me since I was 15.
Yeah.
CJ did something I wasn't expecting him to do
And
at
she believes this is true? Like,
all. He claimed he was 18 and had been groomed by the age of 15 by him. None of us knew who he was talking about.
who cares?
Who's
It's
listening to how-
Twitter.
this
He's
is
messing with
story
you.
time, guy.
Like, at this point, you take anything he says seriously. That's on you. Like, you're the
Since
dummy.
he had just tagged
And it's so funny that she makes the video of this, and you're like, this is what I mean by she puts out a video, you watch it, and you yourself are like, she's not telling the truth here, or
No.
she's really dumb, or something's going on here.
Just
Like,
the way she reads
none
it
of this
out,
makes sense.
like,
Anybody reading this can tell that he's messing with her,
yeah.
and she's still like, who has? She said, who has? DMs? Like she's looking for DMs on how he was groomed and shit. I think this is just Rain with a lot of bot followers or something.
You
See, there's
see
even,
more
she
people.
even, listen to this, guys. She even has her followers believing that anyone who comes in and messes with her is this other guy, is
Yeah.
her harasser.
Which is-
Even her audience is saying that all the time because she's got them conditioned to think that.
This whole
That's crazy.
it's your botting and you're a pedo is just such a like somebody
Yeah.
just slapped you in the face. Was like, no, you're not allowed to say anything else anymore. I put a stop to that.
It's
Just-
an edgy kid who started a YouTube channel trying to mess with you, who's a fan of Mr. Girl, you
Yeah.
know, and these edgy
Critical
streamer guys,
Canadian acting like they knew each other. So a lot of people
acting like they knew each other, but they didn't, because earlier she said he responded as if he didn't know what that kid was talking about. But now they're acting as if they knew each other? I don't think so. I think he tagged him in without knowing him. The guy was confused.
Yeah.
people just
You
kind
said
of
that yourself.
assumed that's who he was talking about. And at that point, I attempted to
She literally DM'd him and said, who are you claiming
Oh
is
my
grooming you?
God.
I will keep it confidential. Oh, this kid should have played her and made this
Oh
whole
my God,
story.
he
start a DM with
I
CJ
would've.
because in the off chance that
would've
he
been so
actually
funny.
was
Well,
being
at least
serious.
when I was a kid, I would've
yes,
done
I
that.
did want to offer my confidential support. That part wasn't a
Yeah, I agree, Grant. This kid is smarter.
trick. I'm just
Yeah.
a nice
For
person.
sure.
But it was
totally,
also
totally played her and exposed how easily it is for her to believe these things and go looking into things that
at this time when I realized
Which
CJ was
is,
streaming
like,
on his
kind of
Twitch
how we
channel.
see the Rain Plasma guy when they're like apparently he was some person that was a promotional gaming type of person, and there was a list of sponsorships that he had. Some of those sponsorships looked like he was kind of maybe trolling it, making it seem good, but like either better than it was or wanting to achieve that type of like sponsorship one day or something like that. It read kind of trolly, the things that were called out in that server of his. So it just seems like trolling is happening at this moment and she can't like get it.
Well, for this, certainly this kid is trolling.
called
He made-
sorry.
He made a video about it, talking about how he completely trolled her into believing these things, and she turned it into this huge drama. and made
DJ
a
Brown.
video.
Oh, 3,000 followers. Good for you. Oh. Maybe he got pity botted by our good friend Matt. So
No, he
Once
just
again-
started a channel and became a thing. Like, we can see on his YouTube channel, he doesn't have many followers. Like, he just
Yeah.
started a YouTube channel. That's why his Twitter went up like that.
I stumbled
He
into
just got
CJ
monetized. What happened? Like it's like that's what
Hey,
literally
stream.
the video she just made recently. Her
Mhm.
getting monetized, and she's trying to talk about views, but she had 1 million impressions,
Yeah,
guys.
which means
1
nothing.
million impressions on her Twitch blog, and that
Mhm.
was supposed to mean something. So you know.
CJ Brown be clowning on him. CJ Brown be clowning on him.
Great freestyle, CJ. And
Yeah, and he's already telling you right there, CJ Brown be clowning on them. So
Yeah.
his whole point is to clown on people,
Yeah.
right? So he's basically telling you he's a troll right there with his own little song intro
I
song.
started hearing him gloat about how stupid and idiotic I am. What a terrible private investigator I must be to fall for his brilliant master plan to fake being a victim of child grooming, which he claims would destroy my credibility.
It kind of did, though.
has,
I mean,
it
I
has.
see it as that. You literally did expose something
Like
here.
Stardust,
And it
made
was
a
even
tweet.
before that she lost credibility. It
Yeah.
wasn't this moment. This is just an extra moment on top to show 100% that she just believes things on the internet
Yeah.
and doesn't know how to act on the internet.
Like, I think that one content creator, Stardust, tried to talk to her, and at the end of it, she basically said, like, you're, like, you have no credibility to say any of these things, pretty much is how she summed it up. Like,
Somehow,
I made a video about how much I hate BXBullet with the link. I see this, and I see somebody had quote tweeted me and said, "Why are you a pedo supporter? Sorry, CJ. You're all over Raiden's timeline and suddenly making a hit piece about Bullet." I thought the funniest thing to do would be, "Sorry, he paid me $50. Dude, she falls for it." And in fact, just to make it a little...
Yeah, straight up falls for it, right?
Yeah.
And then goes on this thing of turning it into like an op where it's like, I'm gonna get
bit
this
more
girl that I talked to go talk to him and get into, like, really?
I
couldn't figure that out.
DM'd her and I said, "Yo, delete the tweet. He said I have to give the money back if she finds out." Totally believes every word of
As if you can make someone give you that money
Right?
back. Like,
this.
Carrie claims he used my criminal harasser, Matt Brockett, as a useful idiot to get me to promote his YouTube video. Using
that's not what he said. When did he say that?
nah.
When did he say he used this guy as a useful idiot? I don't remember him saying that at all.
a predator to further antagonize and harass his very real victims for your own personal gain. I can see you're well on your way to the top, CJ. Look out, Keemstar.
People who do Twitch politics,
Huh?
That's not even the kind of content Keemstar
You
does.
want,
Like, they
does
wouldn't
she
even
really
be
want Keemstar's
competing with each
attention?
other.
Because that's who Hunter was defending her from. Keemstar calling her some, like, boobies streamer mommy or something like that, or being kind of
Yeah,
nasty
but
to
this
her.
isn't even that kind of content, so I don't
Yeah.
even understand this. He's
He
trolling
doesn't-
people. Keemstar doesn't
my
troll
God.
people. He reports on internet drama.
Yeah.
That's totally there. If anything, she's more like Keemstar than this kid is.
Yeah.
She actually has been making videos on internet drama that have to do with herself, but she's been making it. Meanwhile, he just streams about him trolling people and go look and reacting to like edgy comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing at all of what Keemstar does.
No.
It's weird.
are stupid. Do you see how easy it is to manipulate them, to get them to spread fake information?
Oof. This is embarrassing for him.
Oh, this
For
is so
you,
humiliating.
VX.
VX, if you're watching this right now,
That's weird. She says this is embarrassing for him,
For
but
him.
what he said is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
She spread false information. She even made this video spreading false information in this video, and she doesn't realize that she's doing it or
Yeah.
something. I don't get what she means by why is it embarrassing? I don't understand.
Like-
I wish she would elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Like, why was that what he said there embarrassing? I don't find that embarrassing. I think what he said is exactly what happened, and I don't see why that's embarrassing.
this is unbelievably humiliating.
Yes, I am completely humiliated. How will I ever recover from what these 6 people in your Twitch chat think about me? And it gets even more embarrassing here when I
I mean, that's true too, but eventually more people are going to see it. And it seems like more and more people are seeing it, where there's like big streamers who don't want to have anything to do with her anymore.
join his 6 viewer Twitch stream with my alt Twitch account and then begin to bait him for information. So as my alt, I asked poor dumb CJ to
So here's where it's funny, right? This is where the funny projection is. She's talking about how this Rain guy uses these bots and alts to come and harass her and get information, all this stuff. She just literally admitted right now that she went on this kid stream with an alt account
Right?
and was doing that to this kid.
Yeah. Yeah, she projects everything that she's already doing.
So she's
and
the one
thinks
doing
this
that.
guy
Yeah.
is doing it. And this was what excuses her doing it.
So
She
she's
thinks-
sitting here saying that it's wrong for other people to do this while she goes and does it. She tells people and shames them. You're taking money from this guy who uses alt accounts to harass me to make videos. And that's a bad thing. Meanwhile, I'm here with my alt account on your Twitch stream, harassing you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. She's fucking nuts. She's nuts.
Yeah.
leak the DMs he had with Matt, and he obliged.
You want to see the full DMs? Yeah.
So here we can see Matt repeatedly lying to CJ and manipulating him in his predictable, characteristic fashion. For example,
but obviously, this guy's not ashamed of it and just straight, oh, you want to see the DMs? And just straight up put them there and said, yeah, here, look, this is me talking with him. She's saying he's lying, but you have to actually show where the lies are and show how they are lies. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't
lies
just say
and says he's married.
Mm-hmm.
He also claims to have never saved my daughter's naked image on.
She's saying Rain Plasma is lying about being married. How does she know he's lying about being married?
Maybe he is. I don't know. But I don't know if he is now. Maybe when she last checked, he wasn't married. Maybe he is now.
But it's as if she's saying he's lying about this whole life that he has. How the fuck does she know that?
Well, one, she claims to detect this away from that. But others is that we know she's doxed him. So she has to know if he's married or not. She's doxed him completely. She has all his information. Like, she knows where he lives, you know, she knows if he has kids, all that stuff. So, let me see if we can read this, that'd be cool. Hello, LOL. Which part would you like clarification on? Blackmailing with a video is not what happened. Blank the context of the story. Me and BX have had beef for about 2 years now. We both are something of trying to get either banned on social media. So yeah, he's saying this isn't a one-way street. We've both been going back and forth at each other, trying to get each other banned. It's been going on for 2 years. One day I was watching her stream with two other of my supporters. We were waiting for something against TOS to happen, if anything. Exactly. Right. The kid ran across the stream. One of the other two people clipped it and reported it. The clip was never saved on a computer. I can't tell what that says. A computer. It's not predatory. We simply simply blank something bannable and reported it.
It simply saw something bannable and reported it.
Yeah, which is exactly what's been admitted from the beginning. You know, from the beginning. She would not know this if it wasn't for him outright saying, I reported your kid. You know, we clipped that and reported it. She said, she tweeted out, good thing I deleted that real quick. And somebody said, oh, well, I clipped it.
Yeah.
And then she said, oh, shit. So she deleted the clip. But they said, too late. I already saved it. It was too reported.
Yeah.
You know, and they're the ones who came out and said, yeah, we did that to report it. She wouldn't even know that happened if they didn't say it. So it's not like she exposed something there and there was something hidden and they were trying to do something illegal or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It was their own confession about it. You know?
And he says nothing sexual towards the kid ever happened or anything like that. But this is why she will not let this go, because she's actually her child is a couple years older now. She's actually convinced this child that this happened. And when the child happens to see this Rain Plasma on a streamer or the picture or whatever like that of Rain Plasma, she says that's the bad guy that saw me naked. Like she's convinced this child
that's
of
ridiculous.
These things. Like that's just ridiculous to have done that.
But a lot of people saw her. Everyone who was watching her stream saw her naked because of her, not because of the people watching. Yeah. They didn't know a child was gonna come running on the screen.
Yeah.
That's the drama that she made up. Nothing actually towards the kid was ever made. Nothing sexual toward the kid was ever made, and it's ridiculous. Yeah. What's her evidence that it was saved? Her word? I think he had said it before, but there's also the confusion of the words clip and save, and it gets confused. And I think when they're saying they saved it, I think they're saying they saved the clip, like they clipped it on
From what I understood, it was that somebody else named Danielle is the one that saved clipped it and saved it on their computer and then sent it to be reported for terms of service to Rain Plasma, and was deleted or something or other. Maybe there was a miscommunication that happened there, and it was just from that one person, Danielle, that clipped it and reported it, and Rain Plasma was just like, there you go, we got it now. So I'm not too sure. I don't think anything was saved.
I could have swore she had a saved thing saying that I had saved the image, but it was he didn't mean it in that way. I think he meant it as it was clipped, because there's always that confusion within the verbiage of clipping something or saving something.
Yeah.
And you hear it all the time where people are saying, oh, you clipped it, as if they clipped it in a way of like saving it like for a clip channel or something. And they're like, I didn't do that. And he's like, no, I don't mean you literally clipped that. I mean, you click the clip button on Twitch that saves that thing onto a separate page that has your little clip of it, you know?
I think it's being addressed though.
Which I think that's what they mean, and she's taking it as he saved it on his computer.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what happened.
When BXBullet is in that live stream chat, when they're asking Rain Plasma about what happened in that situation, clipping the video, she says he's got video a clip saved of a toddler with nude toddler or something like that. That's what she's referring to. So I guess that's
she has no proof that he does either way.
On his computer, even though there's proof in the very video CJ is watching on his stream. Maybe his mom was yelling at him about dinner being ready during that part and he missed it. I don't know. We also learned
There's evidence, but evidence isn't proof. This is another thing she uses interchangeably. Evidence isn't proof. There's proof, there's evidence, and there's proof. A bunch of evidence can lead to proof, and evidence can be proof, but sometimes evidence isn't proof.
Yeah.
So you can turn evidence into, I could turn a bloody knife and say, here's the evidence this guy did it. But if the knife doesn't connect to the guy, then it doesn't prove he did it. You know, like those are different things.
Learned that this little shit drama streamer wannabe CJ Brown is a lying little snake.
Let's see if we can read more of it. He's a lying little snake. Well, I mean, he's a troll. I don't know if he's lying. If you want to call trolling lying, go for it. But we know there's difference. Now, if I get called a pedophile for that, not even close to what a pedophile is, why do you think big streamers refuse to talk about the situation? She's making it out a sexual predator. You is distributing child porn, which sounds serious. Do you think people like Destiny doubt the validity? Yeah, of course. Because there's no, I don't know what that is. It's not stupid. They're not stupid. Nothing is proven. Anyone can write about anything. From my perspective, it could also be he hates her and doesn't care. She's not the police, and speaking of which, she's called the cops on me, you know. What they did or said, it's not accurate, and to nothing. I'm innocent in that nature, but the pedophile is such a bad thing, and to get canceled for it is crazy when it's not even true. See, that's what I mean. She's called the police on him. The police have investigated him, and there's nothing, and yet she still goes after this guy and still says these
publicly
things.
accuses really nice people like Critical Canadian of being child groomers in
he
order
was
to help well-known...
Trolling and lying are different things. Ugh, fuck, I was trying to stop it. This takes so while to stop, but when it's...
accuses really nice people like Critical Canadian of being
going after. Oh wait, she's reached out to many people. Control. Wait, I didn't read any of this. Yeah, he said she called the police on him and he's been investigated and it's led to nothing. That's what he said to this kid. You want to get me for being bad org owner? That's something else. That's exactly what I said. If you want to get him for being a bad org owner or scamming them for that stuff, he's saying that's one thing, but it's not. This other thing isn't true. Pedophile is such a bad thing to get. Blah blah. We should control who enters her room. Then story. Also, all streamers have something. If something happens to click off quick and she didn't get that, she's reached out to many and no one cares. But she picks fights with people. Yeah. Exactly, that's what she does. Right. If anybody goes against this narrative, she picks fights with those people. Going after Mr. Girl was really stupid mistake. Calling it a pedophile awareness stream is pretty funny. Blah blah. Yeah, this is about the new stuff. So.
Child groomers in order to help well-known child sex predators
so far,
harass their victim.
None of this has to do with him paying him. So I like how she completely glossed over the point where she was wrong about saying that he was paying her to make this video. None of this is people who complain about harassment and continue to stream, blah, blah. Harassers, the funny part, blah. This could be a Netflix series similar to Tiger King. She said, what's up with the asking for nudes? Never happened. Happily married. Don't what?
Don't need nudes.
Don't need the nudes. He's not understanding... Her not understanding Mr. Girl's raps. They should really call the FBI over the 16-year-old writing erotic fan fiction.
And then calls it a...
She called the cops, LOL, didn't work out. I'm at the part where you're getting grilled over reporting the clip. You never said that you downloaded the clip, just that you clipped it and reported it. No one downloaded
Joke.
it.
Like,
Fuck, well, that moved too fast.
Too fast.
She went back up though. She's the harasser.
Cool
is
guy.
the funny
Hope
part.
it takes
Yeah,
off.
Yeah,
that's what
she
we've been
can't-
saying
yeah.
just from watching her side.
Right.
It's funny to read this. This is the first time we've read this. I didn't think about stopping this and reading it before.
When we watched
But
it,
it's funny we're reading this now, and everything we've been saying in all the videos is shit that he's saying now, confirming all the shit that we were saying just from her side, you know, without hearing his side. Where I'm like,
After
it sounds
this.
like she's
Maybe I'll
the
get a little
harasser.
subscriber
Like,
bump for my hate watch.
didn't work out, didn't even download it. How even to do it. I don't understand why she's depraved to report someone for taking it. That's a piece of shit move, but it sounds like you guys are at war with each other. It's been a war. I'm not knocking it as not a shitty thing. It's not pedophilia. That's why, that's something about it being shitty. She's done bad shit too. BXBullet contacts the National Center. Oh, that's the one that he posted.
After this, I did a little more chatting with my all just to see what else CJ had to
A little
say.
more chatting with my alt. So she has alt accounts that she harasses people with.
round of applause for CJ, please, in the chat. I got used by a criminal. No, I used.
Yeah, funny enough, it's really
She
funny
flops like
that
a
she
dumbass,
completely
but
glossed
she's-
over the fact that he didn't get paid to
Yeah.
make that video,
Yeah.
and that she completely fell for it. You know, I completely
Used the
glossed over that
criminal.
she was wrong about
You got it mixed up. I use the criminal.
He's a good troll, guys. Let's just let him believe that, okay? This
it. Yeah,
is
he
probably
doesn't really think he's a criminal though. He's joking about
He's a
that.
good
saying,
troll,
"Ah,
guys."
you didn't use me. I used the criminal."
She
been the
bought
most
into
control he's
everything.
ever had over a situation since
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous, right?
his mom let him pick a flavor of popsicle after dinner last night.
Somebody wrote
J-Tron,
that for
That's
her.
supposed to be
Somebody
humor?
wrote
That's
that
not
for
funny.
her.
You
She didn't
think
write that
so?
herself. Somebody gave her
That was really
line.
bad. If
Yeah.
somebody wrote that for her and she paid for that, I would ask for my money back. 'Cause that
You
was not good.
please link me evidence that this Rain person is an offending pedophile, please.
Yeah.
Link him
Yes.
Yeah, I would like that same link because every one I've seen so far does not show
evidence.
something.
You watched the entire video on your own stream.
Yeah,
You even pulled
I've watched the video, and from her video, I get that he's not, and that she's crazy and harassing him. Yeah.
clips and posted them on Twitter.
That
You
is
responded
true.
to
I
a
did
huge
put that
thread
on
of
the
people
stream.
corroborating my claims.
So if you're a fan of BXBullet, is
People
it not
corroborating the
alarming
claims is
that she
nothing,
was
too.
this
That
willing
doesn't mean
to
anything.
amplify fake
I don't
news
know
that I
what
created?
tweaks out every time I want to get rid of the full screen. But other people corroborating a story, I don't know if she knows this, but eyewitnesses and people are like the lowest of low when it comes to evidence for something. Like people are often mistaken, they often lie, especially on the internet. Like, do we have
Far
them
more alarming that
swearing this? Do we know that these people are reliable people that are saying this? Or
your
you know, like,
idea
what
of
do we know
creating
about
fake
these
news
people?
involves claiming a criminal sex predator paid you to make one of your YouTube videos. And
Yeah,
then
that's a
lying
troll, but haven't admitted that. But I mean, I don't see anything wrong with what she
Yeah.
said there. What's wrong
Listen
with
to like what she's accusing this person of. She wants a Netflix or Fox documentary.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that require some type of financial payment in order to make things
Yeah.
like that? And she's gonna, she of all people is going to be like, you got paid for doing this, and it's like it's a joke and you fell for it. Like,
How funny would it be if somebody made a documentary on Netflix about her in the opposite way,
Yeah.
that she goes after people as a liar?
about being groomed by a random person on Twitter. I find that very alarming personally.
Is that not a little alarming that she's this easily manipulated by a stupid idiot like me?
Yeah, that's
Hey, he got something right.
that's the point. So she's not understanding. That's the point. So the things she's saying
Over
about
her
the
head.
other guy can easily be chalked up to her possibly believing something that's not true, since
Yeah.
she so easily believes things that aren't true.
Right.
Right.
And how you could take her
She's not getting
seriously
it
at
though.
all.
No.
Yeah, how can you take
If
it
she's
seriously
this
then?
easily manipulated.
Yep, I'm so
Exactly.
easy to manipulate. Poor dumb blonde airheaded girl here. Not you.
though.
But she totally did manipulate
She
you. What
is
part
dumb.
of this shows that you manipulated him?
Giving her the information she was looking for by responding to her all
He showed you that information on purpose on a stream because he wanted you to see that.
Yeah.
She thinks she tricked him into revealing the information. Meanwhile, he volunteered that.
Yeah.
He gave that to her
She-
on the stream. It wasn't like, oh yeah, contact me off stream and I'll send you. No, on the stream, he showed it.
She's like, haha, I did it
And
like
she
that.
thinks
on purpose. Duh. Like,
Dude, how bad is that?
What?
Like, that's really
Chat.
dumb.
Never you, bro.
This right here shows how weak-minded she is. Because
Yeah.
if I apologize to somebody and they don't accept my apology, I stand by my apology.
I wonder if he'll apologize to Critical Canadian for accusing him of child grooming.
Dude, Jatron,
I don't think
what
he
is
has
your
to.
deal?
But I don't think
The
anybody believed that. I think everybody knew it was a troll, and everybody was like,
So,
huh? And that's it.
She wants this CJ to apologize to Critical Canadian for accusing him of child grooming. She's been accusing Rain Plasma of child grooming for a fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't.
Deal is, it's me, moron.
Mm.
You played yourself.
Hey, everybody, make Jatron feel at home, please. This is somebody.
She got played.
Yeah, she got played, but she doesn't realize
No.
that, and she thinks she's playing him,
Yeah.
and doesn't realize how dumb it is for her to think that, because he just volunteers this information. She doesn't have to pry it or anything.
Who gets on camera, tweets,
Again.
does all this stuff,
God, I hate that. I don't know why
complains that they're
anyone
getting
does that.
harassed, and
I was
continues
like,
to
click
get
it
on
twice.
camera,
If I would
continues
click
to
it once, it
tweet.
doesn't make any sense.
Maybe
Now
we're
we
just
have to wait.
responding to the shit that you have to say.
We? Who is we? Are you lumping yourself into...
There you go. Why is it full screen? I hate that. But now I lost my train of thought because of that too.
Used to get on camera.
But she acts as if she went in there with her regular account and said, "Show me the thing." The whole purpose of her trying to see his DMs was to see if he was offered money
Yeah.
to make that hate video about her. And now she's completely glossed over that and pretends that you offered me that information without knowing it was me, and
Yeah.
he doesn't care whether it was you or not. You haven't shown that if it was you, that he wouldn't have shown it to you. I think he would have anyway. Him showing it on a live stream on the stream shows that he's not ashamed.
He's not withholding anything.
He's not withholding anything. He's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, here it is.
Mhm.
What's there?
Mhm.
And at no point does it show that he was paid to make that video.
No.
So she was actually proven wrong here and was completely manipulated by this guy into believing things that aren't true.
And,
And she fell for them easily, like with no resistance, like
Yeah.
at all.
If she wants to turn around and say CJ played himself, is that her exposing that she's made all this stuff up? Because what are we supposed to be believing then at this point?
Camera continues to tweet.
And now she's like, oh, and he lied and said this person. He didn't lie. He was
Yeah.
trolling you.
Yeah.
You're the only person who took that seriously. Everybody else thinks he's joking.
Yeah.
This is why he doesn't owe him an apology. And I bet that guy doesn't even want an apology because he gets it was a joke. And everyone else gets it's a joke, you know? The joke's on her because she's the only one who doesn't get it's a joke. Because
Yeah.
she's, again, proving how naive she is and how easily she believes things.
Maybe we're just responding to the shit that you have to say.
We? Who is we? Are you lumping yourself into the same camp as a child sex predator who's harassing me?
I wonder how many enemies I gained from this.
Hopefully none. I don't encourage my community to harass or hate on others, so...
I hope I learned a lesson from this. Yeah. I learned
Yeah,
that
the only lesson, this is what I'm saying, the only lesson from this to learn is how easily
Easily
manipulated BXBullet is and how
Yeah.
easily she believes things without actual evidence.
that
for
I
them
need to
true.
be doing more of this.
He needs to do what more? He needs
Or what low bar of evidence she has for proof is really what it is. Like, she has a very low bar of evidence to prove things.
to collaborate more with known child sex predators to harass their victims.
See, she just keeps
Known
repeating
child
that, but
sex
that's not
predators.
happening. And knowing anybody who sees it knows that she hasn't proved any of these things. So everything she says is pretty null and void. Like, it's pretty moot. Because all her point is, you're a bad person for working with this guy who's a known this, and that.
Yeah.
That no one has proved that he is a known this, or that. So
Yeah.
then how is he bad? You're not even saying anything. You know?
And then she says known
Weird
child
strat-
sex predators. Like, there's more than one, which goes back to it's not just Rain Plasma. She's also lumping Hunter in there. She's also
Yeah.
lumping Destiny, Mr.
No,
Girl.
but remember, her beef with Hunter started because she called him a pedophile apologist.
Yeah.
She also calls Destiny that too.
When all Hunter said was, I think
None
if-
of them are pedophile apologists at all.
Yeah. All Hunter said was, if you know you're a pedophile and you're getting therapy for it, that's a good thing. And I don't think that should be looked at as a bad thing. If people are in that situation. So
Strategy, but okay. We'll see how that works out.
No, we're not going to ban Jatron. Are you kidding?
No, don't ban Jatron. He seems like such a good guy.
Wow, nice shirt. Where'd you get that? The adult doll store?
Adult doll store.
Not hilarious,
Yeah,
but that was
doll-
kind of
dolls.
funny. That was kind of
Yeah.
funny. Way funnier than any joke she's done, though.
Oh no, CJ, did you lie about your age when you stumbled on this website here?
I mean,
Huh?
What?
The doll store. So she said,
It's
what?
just so
That
this
doesn't.
whole
That
thing,
joke doesn't even connect. So she made a joke with a site called Your Doll,
Yeah,
which is, I
th-
guess,
you
where you
know,
buy sex dolls.
more and more as she keeps reading the script, I'm realizing she didn't write any of this herself.
No.
Because these are all things that she's reacting to.
I think she
no
has to have
connection
written
her.
it herself, because who would come up with that besides her? That joke doesn't even connect to what he said.
One of
It's
the
completely
many
out of context.
boxer
Doesn't make
shorts
sense.
of men she's sleeping with, but she tries to flex on that other person on Twitter.
That doesn't make sense. That she's saying you're wearing a shirt that seems like an old-timey doll that like your mom would have.
Yeah.
And then she equates that to a
sex
yourdoll.com
doll?
store that's to buy sex dolls, I guess. Like, why? How does that connect at all? That doesn't even make sense. That's what I'm saying. She had to have made it because she sucks that bad that she doesn't realize that joke doesn't land or connect. Like if somebody else wrote that for her, they definitely would have made a joke that at least connected, you
a
know,
little bit.
and was
like,
a connecting clapback. But
Yeah.
instead, it had nothing to do with what he said. It's very strange.
I'm the only one talking because there's only 7 viewers in here. This kid needs me. Yeah, exactly. I need him.
Exactly.
Exactly. And somebody, I need him. Yeah, they're a little fish taking the bait.
We hear such stupid little fish take.
But I mean, she kind of did take the bait. His whole point was to use her to get eyes on his channel. And what she did was go in his channel on an alt account. Maybe he knew that or not, but he knew he was getting more views from people from your side.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened, right?
Taking the bait.
Jtron, come on, you.
And literally, she did take that bait and tried, but she doesn't have that big enough of a following either to really give people.
Can't understand the humor into tricking somebody into promoting a hate video that I made about them. Come on. It's pretty funny.
I mean, it's.
I thought it was pretty funny. It is pretty funny. And it does expose her
And
for being very gullible.
So
and
John,
easy to-
Jtron is her. She's
Yeah.
exposing herself with all the language that she's using too. She thinks she's more clever than she is, and
No, yeah.
he can see right through it. Like all the language is that person's using is all her language. So.
It's funny now. Anyways,
It's funny now. No, it was funny the whole
now.
time. The whole time it was funny.
Yeah.
mission accomplished, intel gathered, and this guy CJ got some great content out of it, right? So why am I giving this guy attention?
Yeah, that's the best question,
That's
is
the
why
best.
would you even give
Yeah.
that attention? Like, but it seems like, you know, you'd think you'd just take the L and not make the video. Like you would see on the tweet and be like, oh, this kid's just trolling me. Let me just, you know, whatever, squash it,
Yeah.
drop it, let it go, you know. But instead she goes out of the trouble. This exposes her. This is why I
Yeah.
say this video exposes somebody, but it's not that kid, it's her. You know,
Mhm.
just the fact that she made this video is exposing, you know.
I mean, he's a 6 viewer Andy. He's obviously
Again, with their 6 viewer Andy,
Andy, I have no
he
idea.
has less than 3,000 subs. That's not much different from being 6 viewer, and
Yeah.
you know it's not much different from that.
young, lives with his mom, really dumb and naive, and
I mean,
all those accusations, I'm pretty sure he said are untrue. I think he does live on his own and stuff.
well, whether he does or not, even if he is dumb and naive, it just shows that she's dumber and more naive than him,
Yeah.
because she fell for his tricks. You can call him dumb and naive all you want, but all that says is that you're even more dumb and even more naive than he is.
Yeah.
And he showed that, and you're making a video showing him show that. You know,
also
it's
a
crazy.
liar and extremely toxic. Well, personally,
He's not a liar. He's a troll. You're confusing trolling with lying. You know, and she doesn't understand what jokes are.
yeah, I think this is a really good example of how not to grow yourself as a creator.
I don't think she's a good person to tell people how to grow their channel as a creator. She has less than 3,000 subs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's been around for a couple of years. She was on Twitch. She has been on streams debating Destiny and big names, Hunter, on panels with big name people, and yet she still has under 3,000 subs on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, look at it right here, 2.8 subs. I've been doing this for years and put zero interest into my channel. I put zero effort into it, and I have as many subs as she does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, she's been at this for a couple of years and has put effort into it, has bought all these things. Look at her room's all set up. She has an expensive mic. She has this whole setup. I don't have all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? She's done all this stuff and still only has under 3,000 subs. I don't think she should be telling people how to grow
Yeah.
a channel.
Basically, she's like Reba McEntire. She's a single mom. She works too hard. She loves her kid and never stops. She's got a degree in science, in being a private investigator, in being a professional shooter. Like, you name it, she's got the degree. She's everywhere. It's like, she's just crazy.
No, but this kid likes Mr. Girl. If he wanted advice on how to grow a channel, why wouldn't he talk to Mr. Girl?
Yeah.
Both Mr. Girl and BXBullet have both been on stream and talked to Destiny and been on Destiny's channel. But one's channel actually has had a lot of growth,
right,
and one hasn't.
Yeah.
So who would you talk to get advice on how to grow a channel? BXBullet or Mr. Girl, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe if you're just starting out as a creator, maybe don't jump into the drama creator space like
That
at all.
would
You
be
mean like you
we
did?
don't need-
wonderful
What do you mean?
advice
That's
for
what you're
her
doing.
to take herself. It would be wonderful if she took that
Yeah, if you
advice
took that
herself.
advice herself.
Because she constantly keeps on, why am I getting this hate? And it's like, you keep poking the bear every time.
Or you keep making drama, and then says that she doesn't make drama content, but she does constantly make it. Look, she's even stretching out drama content so much that she's making a stream about a kid with like 200, 300 subs.
Like,
you know?
wasn't that post that CJ made around the time that Mr. Girl was saying he was talking to somebody with OCD?
No, yeah, that's why he started doing that. Was the first thing he tweeted was her posting that and saying, "Look, she said this."
So
she
then
doesn't even show
started-
that. She didn't even cover that in
right?
this.
But then she goes and turns around saying, "Oh, he's the one that like he got clowned on himself or something." That's like, no, you got clowned.
Yeah,
on.
you got clowned on.
You.
More of you assholes. But it doesn't really matter.
There were any more of you you covered drama content. You covered 3 or 4 videos of you in this drama with people that you start.
Because this applies to pretty much every creator and non-creators as well. Stop.
She's talking as if she's an expert on growing channels and being a content creator.
She's
Your
not.
channel has less than 3,000 subs. What are you talking about? Why would people listen to you and not bigger people like Destiny or somebody? Or, you know, like I said, this guy's a fan of Mr. Girl. Why wouldn't he listen to him and not you? Why would he listen to what you have to say? Why would anybody listen to you? I wouldn't go out there and give advice. I have the same amount of subs as this girl, and I would not make a video and give people advice on how to grow a channel.
Like,
you know,
BXBullet reminds me of people from that. What's that show? Sean reviews this channel sometimes. The Real. She reminds me of one of those people from The Real, but the more like crazier people, because a couple of them seem not so crazy. But she's just she's got the scoop, and listen to her. Like,
Stop trusting weirdos on the internet. And when dozens of people are accusing someone of horrible criminal conduct, maybe avoid aligning yourself with that person.
no,
right?
no,
Don't listen
never.
to the police.
Nope.
Don't listen to the FBI. Don't listen
I
to
believe in due
child
process.
abuse organizations.
Yeah.
Listen to this nut
Yeah.
job.
No,
What?
but even if that was the case, I listen to proof, absolute proof. I'm not going to listen. Accusations mean nothing. I can accuse this girl of things all day. All day I can sit on my Twitch every day and say she's a groomer, she's a child sex offender, all these things. I can post that every day. Is she saying that people should listen to me and no one should align with this girl because I am out there saying that? Is that what she's saying? Is that
Probably.
perfectly fine? Because if so, then somebody should do that probably and see how she feels about it.
Yeah.
But the truth is, no, you shouldn't listen to people who are you shouldn't listen to the accusers. You should ask for evidence and have it proven to you. And not even to you, because even you are blind. You should see if there's actually official accusations on this. Like, is there police reports? Can you read those police reports? Have those police reports been used for anything? Has there been a trial? Has there been some sort of charges levied? Nothing. She says this guy's a known child sex predator. Where are the charges that the police have pressed on this man saying that? Where are they? There are none.
Exactly.
So this is just hearsay.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't believe hearsay.
If he actually were
she's
that,
wrong on that.
like if this guy, if Rain Plasma were actually a known pedophile, a known sex offender, anything like that, I'm pretty sure in any community that he happens to live in, he would have to make that community aware of
Yeah,
that.
of course.
Isn't that something that would have to happen? So if that were true, he wouldn't be able to legally hide that.
No, yeah, there's no evidence. There's zero evidence that he is this thing, but yet she says it as if it is.
Yeah,
so
but when he says to CJ, there's no proof of this. It's already been investigated, and there's nothing here. I believe him when he says that, because he would have to legally say yes or no to that. So
but
that's
yeah,
an
don't believe people just because. Don't believe people accusing other people. That's not the right way to do things. Everybody deserves due process. Everybody deserves to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So if she's saying, if you want to grow your channel, don't talk to people who have accusations against them. That's not true. A good way, I think, personally myself, I'm not the master of growing channels, but I think a good way to grow a channel is to give people the right to defend themselves against accusations.
Yeah.
So I think that would be interesting concept.
For sure.
So, and it's
and
deserved.
then using them to further harass their victims. Also, make sure to do your
But
research.
how did he harass you?
how?
He didn't harass you. He trolled you. You call that harassing? I would call you weak for that, for saying that was harassment at all of what this kid did.
Research
I wouldn't
and
call
take
that
that
harassment.
research at face value.
What I would call harassment is calling the police on someone, starting campaigns to try to get someone banned from their channel. I would call that harassment.
Mass
Poor
flagging,
CJ.
mass
Going
reporting.
around calling somebody a known sexual predator without that actually being a thing, like without there being charges out there or conviction, that I consider harassment. Trolling someone and being like, someone paid to do this, ha ha ha, and making a hate video and laughing at you, I wouldn't call that really harassment.
No.
That's just goofing. That's
let
just
his
normal internet goofing.
Hatred for me get in the way of seeing facts objectively. Either that or
what
She's the
facts?
one with
Yeah, which
hatred
facts?
here.
I would ask which ones. Where are those facts? Can you show those?
he knew that the guy was guilty and he did all of this anyway.
But
He-
what
he's
guilty
not-
where?
what
Who has
guilty of
what court
what?
of law has shown this guy guilty? What jury found this guy guilty? Show us that.
Like when she constantly, because
She's
if
saying
you've
he's
ever
guilty,
heard
where?
her before, she constantly says she's a private investigator. It just makes me so like curious. What type of private investigating work are you doing? Because it's like she's purposely just refuses to acknowledge that he's not guilty of this. He himself says it. There's no proof of it, but she just continues to read into it being like, oh, it is true. And it makes me think, I hate to think it, but that she used her child as bait in this situation in particular.
It seems more like it, or either that, or it's like retroactive bait, where it wasn't bait in the first place, but now she's using it as such.
It just because she continues to press on that, and there's nothing else other than that one thing, trying to connect the dots. Like really, I'm having a really hard time connecting that dot. But that's the only thing.
To say he's guilty of this without there being any evidence of guilt, without there having been a trial, without any charges, I don't understand how she can say that. Like, I don't get that. How she can have any credibility after saying something like that.
Anyways, either way, it's kind of cringe. But hey, guys, let's give CJ some grace here. I mean, understanding.
Even if it is cringe, totally understandable. He's a young kid. Young kids do cringy shit all the time. Who cares? That would be something to not even look at.
You're actually the idiot being manipulated in a situation.
How did he get manipulated?
How did he get manipulated? Does she really buy that DJ was groomed by Rain Plasma?
No, that's not even what the accusation was. It was somebody
looped
else
into this
completely
drama?
who supposedly groomed him, that he said that was the troll. So aside from that, I don't even know where she's connecting it to say that he was manipulated. What part is the manipulation? Where?
It comes with age and moving out of your mom's basement. Hopefully this was at least entertaining.
She doesn't even explain it.
but
What
this
she
is what
just
is
says
the
he was
most-
manipulated, but she doesn't even explain what the manipulation was that he fell for.
She's a
I don't
single
understand.
mom who works too hard.
Or was the manipulation
I
that she was
would-
under a sock account in the chat?
Yeah.
That was the manipulation? That makes no
and
sense.
taught you a lesson about internet safety.
Does she have proof that he wouldn't have done it if she just asked for it? Because it seemed like he delivered that on a live stream freely and screenshot it freely. Like
and
nothing.
why you should do your research before you post dumb smear videos. And
But
why
what
she
research
really
needed
believes.
to be done
Okay,
there?
no, she really
understand.
believes that he is going to take back the $50 for the video made.
But she
is
doesn't
what
even
I'm
have
thinking.
proof that he was
Yeah.
paid for a video. She
Right.
never got to that. And
But
in fact,
she-
the DMs proved that he didn't get paid for those videos. So
And his video was proving that wasn't the case either.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not listening to any of that. she's still just running with, she's not listening. She might as well have her fingers on her ears. Like, these might as well be.
That's what she
like,
does. That's why I say, like, her videos expose her herself, because she shows you the clips. And then you watch them and, like, but the clip just explained the opposite of what you're saying. Like, what? Or the screen cap sometimes, and you're like, the screen cap just said the opposite of what you said it was. Like, why would you show that?
That CJ put up there was all things contradicting her accusations of this. She doesn't see it because she's not listening to it. So she's just here to get her points in and be like, I did it this time, but like, she's not gonna have done it.
You know, she's saying this guy lied to him in the DMs, but the only thing that happened was the guy told his side of the story. Now you could say he's lying and that's not true, but what difference does that make? He should still be heard on what his side of the story is.
Yeah.
And none of his side of the story really contradicts anything she said. Almost everything he says is stuff that I heard her say.
Exactly.
She said all those things and shown us clips proving those things. Like the part where he says, we clipped that so we could report her for blackmail because she had been harassing us for this long. She's posted that clip and she's explained that herself on videos. Like, so where's the part? Like, what is she talking about? Where's the part where he's lying?
I get what she's done here, which is why it seemed odd to me, is she's already written this comeback before this video or any, she's putting this all together. She's seeing this happening and she's just here to just get her, like, comebacks. That's all she's here to do. She's not going to explain why she did anything or why she said anything. She's just, this. And, it just constantly goes after that, like, one after the other.
That's what I'm saying. She's saying he was the one manipulated. She didn't show how.
Yeah.
Then also he talked to this Matt guy in DMs and Matt was lying. She doesn't show how he was lying when everything he said is the same things she says the story is. So it's like, huh?
You shouldn't trust creepy, strange men online whose entire...
But why should we trust creepy, strange women online? You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't trust creepy, strange men online. But why should we trust creepy, strange women online? Exactly. I don't know you. Why should I trust you?
Yeah.
You're just going around telling me people are pedophiles? Why should I trust you?
Yeah.
Entire online presence is devoted to harassing a single person. And if you're watching this and you're a parent, please police your kids' online presence like their lives depend on it, because they actually
your setup. Like, you've already pointed it out a couple of times, but no change to her setup has ever been made. And if her child ever came into the room again, maybe there are different setups to prevent the child from coming in the room at this point, but just the level of it is pointing down at the ground. Like, you could see any small child still in this, like, framework. Like, she shouldn't, like, she's just, like, you shouldn't listen to her, because, like, even with the response that she sees from the Rain Plasma guy where he's explaining why that video is saved, that's just proof to her saying he's proving that he's a pedophile. He just explained it. The
hypocrisy here, or the funny lack of self-awareness thing here, is she's giving a tip to parents. Parents, monitor your kids online. Don't all the time. Their lives depend on it. The only person involved in any of this
is her.
Who is a parent whose child is involved in this is her.
Yeah.
She's the only one who needs to watch her kid online. Everyone else there's no other example in this entire story that has to do with parents not monitoring their kids online at all, except hers. And that's the only person who needed to monitor their kid was her in this story.
Which also makes me go back to, like, just believing this is all for bait, is because she's so concerned about this issue having happened to her child. Says that this known pedophile is still out there, but she still puts her child out like on social media. Like, she's got videos of her child playing with some other guy on her child. There's a clip of it.
Which to me is dumb. If you're gonna be the kind of person who goes after channels and stuff, you should keep your children separate from the internet, because you're putting your kid out there to be hurt by people or to be shared. These people hate you and you're going after them and you're calling police on them. Why shouldn't they take pictures of your kid and draw stuff on them, meme it, put it all over the internet, getting memed and disgusting things out? Why not?
But like,
You know, why should they have any respect for you or your family when you have zero respect for them and their family, and you're actively trying to hurt their family?
Yeah.
So why shouldn't they hurt your family back? You know what I'm saying?
The last thing
you're leaving yourself open to these problems.
Yeah.
That's why I say she starts these problems and then plays victim when they retaliate. Yeah. But she's the one doing all of this. And she started all of this. And she just like
throws her kid out there. It's like if that were the situation I were in, if that actually happened, I would not be wanting to continue to put my kid out there. On the
no, yeah, and now she's turned her fuck up of letting her kid run on the stream, and she's turned it into a victimization of herself at a job, kind of like she's trying to make content out of it for all this time, when it should be forgotten and gone, and she should have moved on into other things.
Yeah.
Actually might. Or in this relatively mild example, CJ's mom could have prevented him from being the subject of this video. Anyways,
yeah, but why would he? This video actually makes him look good. Her video makes him look good.
If
she doesn't even realize
CJ a child, BXBullet, why are you going after a child? I thought we were supposed to do that. Like,
yeah, that's what shows her pettiness. As well, and then she uses that as a joke. Oh, well,